Hey, viewers all over the world, greetings to you all in your respective times, especially to all those in Cameroon, our lovely country. Today is another day on the program, Talk with Mimi Mefo, and we all know what is on the air. It is about the presidential elections that took place in Cameroon on the 12th of October, and everybody's anxiously waiting for the proclamation of results that will move from Thursday to Monday, the 27th of October. On today's program, a lot has been happening in Cameroon ever since the 12th of October, with different presidential candidates saying one thing or the other. Today, we are going to talk about the main opposition candidate, Issa Tchiroma Bakary, who already has called on the population of Cameroon to come out on Sunday at 3 p.m. for a peaceful march in order to claim their victory. According to him, he won the elections and it is for the people of Cameroon. We also have Minister Atanganji, the Minister of Territorial Administration, who has also in a statement said youth are being financed to go on the street for protest. On the program today, as usual, there are the usual faces that we will have that will be coordinating the program. We have Mimi Mefo and Sandrine Yanga, and of course others. Hello, Mimi.
Hello, Loveline. Hello, Sandrine. Hello to our viewers across the world and in Cameroon. It is our utmost pleasure having you once again on this program. Please, for those who are joining us on the Rebecca Enonchong on her Twitter account, please continue to subscribe and share. On Mimi Mepo Info, please also share and subscribe. YouTube, Facebook. I think we are also on Beyond Africa podcast. But if we are not, please go to Beyond Africa podcast. And also make sure you subscribe because the host, Bernard Ngalem, is also one of the presenters of this special program that is consecrated on the election coverage. We focus on the some of the things that are happening around the 2025 presidential elections. We talk to experts and also analysts. And today is a special day. It's always a special day. Every day is a special day. But Issa Tchiroma Bakary has not just called for a nationwide protest. He has said in his own words that people across different cities in Cameroon need to come out as one man. Children, men and women need to come out on Sunday, the 26th of October, to rally, especially even those in the diaspora need to come out in different neighborhoods, in different cities, in different villages, just to make their voices heard through a peaceful. He has described it as a peaceful march that will show everyone at home and abroad that it is the people who choose their leader. And that is not all that is happening. While this is taking place, we have the Minister of Communication that is in Cameroon, Rene Manuel Sadi, who met with journalists today. And he was actually cautioning journalists to be peace crusaders and to respect the canons of the profession ahead of the proclamation of results. We know that the results will be officially proclaimed on Monday next week. So tensions are already very, very high in different regions of the country, precisely in the Adamawa and also in the north. A lot of things are happening as well, and that's why Sandrine Yanga is also here. Hello, Sandrine.
Bonsoir Mimi, bonsoir à tous. Merci à vous d'être au rendez-vous. Nous discutons et nous parlons de l'actualité. Vous savez, c'est juste une conversation, c'est juste une discussion pour comprendre tout ce qui se passe autour de l'actualité principale au Cameroun en ce moment. C'est bien sûr l'élection présidentielle du 12 octobre dernier. Les résultats sont attendus dans environ 48 heures maintenant. Ce sera lundi prochain. Alors, on a parlé déjà de Issa Tchiroma Bakary qui appelle à une manifestation pacifique au Cameroun et dans la diaspora ce dimanche 26 octobre. Ça veut dire à la veille de la proclamation de l'élection de la présidentielle dernière. À noter également des arrestations qui ont eu lieu. Fabrice Linam, qui était bien sûr à la tête du PAL à la dernière élection présidentielle, a été arrêté du côté de Yaoundé. Et toujours à Yaoundé, le Conseil constitutionnel qui s'est prononcé aujourd'hui, ce vendredi, sur la requête introduite par Maître Sim et par Maître Bomo Ntimbane à propos de l'annulation de l'élection présidentielle. Ces deux réclamaient plutôt le recomptage des votes, mais leur requête a été jugée irrecevable par le Conseil constitutionnel. Qu'est-ce qu'on devrait donc attendre du Conseil constitutionnel lundi prochain? Comment comprendre la démarche de Issa Tchiroma Bakary et son appel à la protestation? Nous en discuterons tout au long de ce moment. Nous sommes avec des invités déjà, nous voulons dire bonsoir Rebecca Ilonchon qui est avec nous ce
Yes,
soir.
before we bring in Rebecca, we also have for Hansen, who is already in the background. But also to add that, we remember that we announced a very sad news yesterday, which is that of Abe Maikondra. He is member of parliament for the ruling CPDM in the Akko subdivision in Dongamantu, northwest region of Cameroon, who was killed by kidnappers, separatist fighters in the Ndu subdivision, because after he was kidnapped by separatist fighters, few days later he was found dead. His death was also announced today by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Kavaye Gejibril, and many people have been questioning why the CPDM has not reacted, why the government is not responding, has not also reacted, or even, just issued a statement with regards to his passing. But today we saw a release by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Kavaye Gejibril. So is it after the media condemned the silence of the government, or is it something that was done out of free will? Well, we are used to knowing a government that has been always very inactive and very silent when it comes to the plight of Cameroonians, and this could certainly have been just an example. We will certainly be asking Rebecca about it shortly, but Hansen, welcome as well. We are so glad to have you. You're the only gentleman tonight. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mimefo, and hello to the beautiful ladies I'm seeing on my screen.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Hansen. So what's happening from your end?
We should know that the right to peaceful protest or peaceful demonstration on a peaceful march is enshrined in the Constitution of Cameroon. Youth in Biya today took part in a march that was organized by Honorable Malombe, who is a member of parliament for FACO. He called on the youth and asked them not to set to those asking them to go out and protest. As far as Monday is concerned, we should know that across the national territory, we've seen protests in some places like in Marwa, in Garo, and Gaundere, in Yaoundé, and in some few places. And most of these places, youth were arrested. But in Biya today, no one was arrested. The CPDM was given the free card to march in Biya. And we're asking ourselves, does it only concern the CPDM and its peace only? As far as the CPDM is concerned, why can't they allow other people to march without arresting them? This, we know Mimimefo is coming up, building up to Sunday. I mean, we knew just about 1 hour, 30 minutes ago when Issa Tchiroma Bakary said Sunday at 3 p.m. local time across Cameroon and the diaspora, everybody should come out. Now, what will be the outcome of this march as Monday approaches? We shall be talking about this tonight.
Okay. Hello, Rebecca. You are here with us, and we've just had this announcement from Issa Tchiroma Bakary about Sunday's nationwide protest. When you listen to Issa Tchiroma Bakary, what do you have to tell us? How do you feel, given everything that is happening now with the protest in the far north and in the north region, and also in the Adamawa regions, agitations also in the center region, in the center region and some parts of the southwest? How do you feel about this announcement?
So, I'm not a neutral party. I endorsed Mr. Tchiroma. I was one of the early ones. And so one of the reasons that I endorsed him is because he's a fighter, right? I called him a gangster. I don't think he appreciated it very much, but we needed somebody that had the personality, the character, the strength to go head to head with this regime. And I think that his announcement today, his announcements in the last few days, all of his declarations have shown that he's not going to just sit back passively while this is happening to Cameroonians. And it is happening to Cameroonians. So whatever they're doing, it's not against Tchiroma. It's against all of us who supported him and helped him win this election. So what we have is we have a fighter to support our cause. So so that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at all of these declarations as somebody that is willing to stand by us as we fight so that we don't lose our victory. Yeah, so that's what I see. And the people, he didn't call for demonstrations in Garoua or in Maroua or in Gaoundéré or in the center or any of those places. They were spontaneous. There were people that felt that their rights were being violated. And some of them were actually just celebrating. They said, for the first time, we've elected a new leader, and we're happy about that. If you look at some of the demonstrations in the north, they were very joyful. They were festive, and it's that spirit of festivity that I think that we are all celebrating a victory that they're trying to steal from us. And on the political side, we have Tchiroma, who defiantly is helping us stand up against this regime.
Okay, Rebecca, I have just one question, Mimi. Rebecca, j'en sais très bien que la situation politique, ça va être très tendue avec les différents communiqués, les appels à la paix. Mais Issa Tchiroma Bakary parle d'une manifestation pacifique. Est-ce qu'on le prendrait de la façon la plus simple en parlant de pacifique lorsqu'on voit qu'il y a déjà un déploiement sécuritaire important du côté de Yaoundé et même si ce n'est pas visible, on le sait, que les forces de police sont assez prêtes. Est-ce que vous croyez
peut-être qu'elles sont prêtes pour nous protéger et pour nous accompagner? Je ne veux pas, qu'on nous décourage. Nous, on va dire que je ne veux pas qu'on nous décourage. C'est-à-dire que si ces forces de l'ordre, dans tous les pays du monde, les manifestations sont encadrées, c'est-à-dire pour éviter qu'il y ait des bavures sécuritaires, les manifestations sont encadrées. Il y a des forces de l'ordre présentes pour garantir la sécurité des participants à cette marche pacifique. Mais il faut faire attention, et je pense que je l'ai dit sur ce programme la dernière fois que j'étais là, il faut faire très attention, parce que autant nous, on est pacifique, autant je pense que l'une des stratégies du régime, c'est de créer et d'introduire de la violence pour après justifier la répression. Donc, nous, on va tous marcher de manière très pacifique, et comme j'ai dit, c'est de notre droit, mais il faut savoir qu'il y aura des personnes, des troubleurs dans la foule, et ces troubleurs-là seront certainement des agents de l'État. Et ce que
okay, maybe before you continue, Mimi, I think because of the network back home, our guest from Libya Lem is on standby. I think it's important we take him so that we can always come back to Rebecca.
Okay. Hello, Pastor Mofo Dominique Agendia is one of our guests today. You were a member of the PCRN and you resigned, I think it was a few weeks ago, citing poor treatment. Can you, first of all, start by telling us, a lot is happening in Cameroon at the moment before we come to the reason why you decided to resign. Issa Tchiroma Bakary says that he won the election, and we've seen results in different polling stations really showing that he surpassed all the candidates that took part in the elections. I mean, from the southwest, northwest, center, from the littoral, in the far north. We've seen that he has really been emerging. I just wanted to find out from you this announcement of general protest, nationwide protest by Issa Tchiroma Bakary. What is your reaction?
I think the network is really an issue.
Yeah, it's not the
Pastor
best.
Mokwa, if it gets to a level where it cannot really get us, maybe you go off the video since doing a video call is heavier and we go directly. Are you getting us?
Sorry?
Yes, can you hear us now, please? Can you hear
Sorry?
us?
Are you,
Okay.
are you,
Yeah,
are you
I can hear
getting
you
us?
now.
Yes, the
Okay.
question was just this announcement
Wow.
of a nationwide protest by Issa Tchiroma Bakary. What is your reaction?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. And I'm happy and I'm ready to tell you people and the entire and the entire nation and the international body that Issa Tchiroma won the elections, landslide victory in Cameroon. There is nothing to doubt about. He did his campaign, and in places like Libya, especially in the southwest and in the northwest, where the Anglophone crisis has caused 80% or 90% of the population to back out of their villages. And the CPDM in return, come to declare victory in the northwest and in the southwest, which is not acceptable, because you cannot be fighting and killing the people of the northwest and the southwest, and in return you come there and declare to the public that you have won a landslide victory in the southwest and in the northwest, like the CPDM. That is what I'm saying.
So are you saying that the
When
results
you
that we are seeing from the southwest region are false? The results that show that the CPDM is winning.
Yes, they are false. They are false. I want to tell you, I was in Libya, the divisional representative of the CPNR, Cabral Libi. I want to tell you, out of 196 polling stations in the division, no station was open. No station was open. Nobody voted in Libya. Nobody voted in Libya. Everything, the SGO and the Electoral officials, with the support of the so-called minister
Oh,
out of Libya, nothing was done in Libya. And how can they claim victory, particularly in Libya, when nobody came out? Nobody went out to vote. Nobody went out to vote. And in return, they are claiming that they won elections in the likewise Manu and in other places. Just to mention a
So
few.
following this announcement of a nationwide protest, how are the people in Libya reacting?
Indeed, I will tell you, Mimi, I will tell you very clearly and open that the people of Libya, they will not react, not for the fact that they do not want to react, but for the fact that because of this crisis, nobody moves out. Nobody is going out of his house.
okay. So what you are making us understand is that on that day, on the 12th of October, people didn't go out to vote.
Yes.
And personalities went out of Libya to vote.
Nobody went out from Libya. Nobody in Libya. I was in Libya. I, as the divisional representative and a member of the counting commission in Libya, I was rather invited to attend a meeting in a hotel in Chang, which I told them that no, I will not come there. Because if I should go to Chang for any manipulation, I personally, I will not go back to Libya. If I go back to Libya, I'm going to lose my life. So I will not sacrifice for people that are outside, go and lose my life while I have a family. No.
Okay, so thank you. What you're indirectly telling us here is that all the figures you had from Libya, we got them from in a hotel in Chang. Thank you so much for your honesty.
What? Yes, from the hotel in Chang.
Okay.
Yeah, just before Hansen and Sandrine come in,
yes,
I wanted to find out from you. You were also you are a member of the PCRN and you resigned. Can you explain the reason behind your resignation from the party and how it reflects your principles? Because you are now telling us that, okay, the truth is Issa Tchiroma Bakary won and that the votes were rigged in the Northwest and the Southwest, precisely in the BLM where you come from. Yes. So can you tell us why you resigned from the PCRN?
No, that is not my reason. That is not my reason from resigning from the PCRN. My reason is that let me make it very clear. What we want for 43 years, Cameroonians have suffered. Our children don't have a future. Even ourselves seated here, if you don't go out of the country, you cannot have something to eat. Your children will get up tomorrow and mock at you as a father, as a mother, because you never took good care of them. Why our taxpayers' money is being mismanaged by some old people there in Yaoundé or by some old politicians that they have decided not to leave power came as a result of what? Even if a political party is poor, there is what we call government subvention for all political parties that are going in for the presidential, be it municipal or whatsoever election we might call. All my 146 polling agents that I choose and selected, that we discussed at meetings in Libya, that they were going to represent the party, even though there were no elections, because we were believing that it will not be for the past years. It will not be like the past years. The national president, in a meeting in Yaoundé, he told us that we should tell our agents not to neither eat in the polling stations or neither drink. It was accepted. With that belief, we know that they were to sponsor the polling agents. But at the end of the day, nothing came out. And above all, as a pastor that I preach the word, Bible says, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." But the regional representatives in Libya, in the Southwest, manipulated us seriously. From when the national chairman.
Oh, network problem in me. But might be, I want to say, the day before yesterday, we got a Barrister Tamfu who told us that sincerely, there's no honesty in politics. So maybe if our pastor is complaining and it's still the same PCRN, maybe it's a way that the PCRN rules with no honesty in it, because they can't say something and then what is happening is just the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Hansen, you're muted.
Yes, yeah, I was trying to say that the PCRN is under fire now because they have not said anything as far as the return sheet, the original return sheets are concerned. We've seen them boasting on the social media that they have all the return sheets in more than 25,000 polling units. And even the SDF, what is happening to the return sheet of the SDF? The opposition, they want to unseat President Paul Biya, but what are they saying as far as collaborating or corroborating the words of Issa Tchiroma Bakary is concerned? Cameroonians are worried. Are these really opposition parties? And that explains why some people have stepped away from the PCRN, because they believe that the party's leadership is not living up to expectations. We're having some information that Mr. Pastor Mufo is back online to talk to us about the reaction of the people in his area.
Sorry.
Pastor, are you with us? Yes.
Yes. Yes. So,
do you think that your leader, Cabral Libi, has not lived up to the expectation of the party and of you militants?
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. I have leaving the BLM to chance in the rainy season like this or in the wet season like this. On a bike is 20,000 francs. To go back is 20,000 francs, making 40,000 francs a return. People have to trek from the BLM 19 persons to come and support the national president in Limbe. When we got to Chang, as early as 5:30 in the morning, I called Biya, that is the regional director for campaigns, Mr. Etonge. He asked me a question that why did we leave Libya without informing him? That the program has been changed. People were frustrated. They had to trek back from Chang to Libya, notwithstanding notwithstanding the national president has betrayed the trust that we gave to him, because we believe that as a young man, if that man should take power, he will not be up to the age of Mr. Biya because of the corruption I have seen in him. He, O.C. Joshua, the other four political leaders, that is O.C. Joshua, Bella Buba, there's something like that. They took 1 billion bribe. That is to betray the trust of the people. When I discovered this, I did not believe. I called John Bakary directly, spoke with him, and he confirmed and he gave me evidence of that. Which I look at it, I said, as a pastor, that people believe in me. If I start telling lies to them because of politics, how will the church of God be tomorrow? I decided to withdraw and step down.
Are you saying that Honorable Cabral Libi, are you saying that Honorable Cabral Libi has collected money from the government to stay silent?
Yes, 1 billion francs CFA. 1 billion francs CFA. So that is to betray the people that have given you the mandate for your selfish interests. Why Cameroonians are suffering? Our children don't have a future. In a situation like this, will you continue to support a thief? Will you continue to support a thief? That is why I tendered my again, and I decided to give my support to FSNC, Issa Tchiroma.
Okay, so looking at things like as an observer now, what is your advice to Cabral Libi? If you had to tell him something now, what is it?
I will ask him to resign as the leader of that party. That is my advice. I'll ask him to resign as the leader of that party. If they want change in this country, I'll ask him to resign and step down.
But why do you think that he should resign?
I'll ask him to resign and step down. Likewise, I am not the only one resigning. Because he is not competent. He is not a good leader. If people believe in you and you betray them because of money, he is not Judas. He should not become Judas who betrayed Jesus Christ. People are sick. People have a lot of pains. People are suffering. And if you trust a leader like that, and finally you realize that he has betrayed the trust you gave to him, in your situation, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Okay. But what is your own reason? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What is your own reason now to join the FSNC? There is a lot of political parties in Cameroon, so you could join something else. You could join MIC, you could join CPDM, you could join UPC, LDF. What is your main reason now to join the FSNC?
Thank you very much for that question. I have been the district secretary for SDF for about 10 years. Before I left the SDF, just remained in the house like that, without a political party. When it came to my mind that I should join a political party, when I look at the opinions and the ideas of Cabral Libi, I believe in him. But notwithstanding, let me answer you directly. One, I believe in something that I will explain to you. Joining the FSNC Cabral Libi is for the fact that when I look at it critically, when I look at it deeply, he is a man of the truth. Even though we, the Anglophones, we have condemned him before from his repentance that he went to Bamenda and he openly confessed. I as a pastor, I believe in him because of that confession. One can change at any moment in life. And I believe that with that confession, he is going to change the situation of Cameroon. He is going to change the life of frustrated and jobless Cameroonians.
Yes, so
There is a saying, there is a saying that a devil you know is better than an angel you don't know. So
okay. So yes, Pastor Mofo, there are many people in the comment section saying that they wanted to support you. We are seeing a lot of messages from people saying they want to support you. Would you be happy for us to put out your contact and let the people reach out to you, or would you want the MMI team to assist you with that and then reach out to you?
The network is disturbing. Getting ours again.
Yes, because
I think maybe that someone from the team can just like talk to him and then explain to me what is happening, and then from there someone from the team can go from there and then support him. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So yes, but he was quite an interesting person to listen to, and I had some more questions for him, but I hope that he can come back again. Rebecca is here with us, and she already started the conversation. If we can bring her in to just answer some of our questions. Hello, Rebecca.
While she is coming in, I also think it's important we know that within opposition parties, there is a lot of accusations and counter accusations, which goes back to support some of those talks that we've been hearing about the fact that the reason behind why most of the political parties couldn't go in for a coalition, because we just got the SDF senator who Vanigasim, who has already said he's surprised that the SDF distanced itself from him because he attended a rally in Bamenda. He's refusing that wasn't a rally. It was a situation where they went there to give gift to IDPs, and it's the governor who's invited him over. And then he himself is already accusing, the head of the party for being too power hungry. So there's a lot within political parties who are getting PCRN, a lot within them. We got, sincerely, I will not forget what Barrister Tamfu told us the other day about that politics is all lies, it's dishonesty, Sandrine is laughing. It marked me a lot. Yeah.
Yes, Rebecca, you just listened to Pastor Mofo there from the BLM. Unfortunately, the network was not the best. But what would be your reaction? What do you have to say after he categorically stated that Issa Tchiroma Bakary won in the BLM, but we have different numbers coming from official sources? He also said that
they didn't vote. He also made a mention of the fact that
he said Issa Tchiroma Bakary won in the Southwest, but that in the BLM nobody actually voted. But he is surprised to see that the CPDM is winning everywhere.
Yeah, indeed, I saw that he was saying that it was happening in a hotel in Chang is where they were doing this. I think it's just an example. There's so much of it. There's nothing right about this election except that despite all of it, we won it. We won it, and we should not. I don't want us to continuously distract with. There was incredible amounts of fraud, and I think that using dead people who were killed during the conflict, people that they killed, this regime killed, the names of people that are displaced, using their names to place votes in their names is a crime against God. It's a crime against God. There is nothing, I don't know how human beings can be that cruel. But I don't want us to get distracted in internal politics. I don't want to be one to start criticizing other politicians, opposition politicians in this race. I haven't seen evidence of the 1 billion. I've heard it and heard it and heard it. And unfortunately, I would have been one to say, oh, that doesn't sound right. But the behavior of those who are accused, you're almost trying to prove that that information is correct. But I don't want to get mixed up in that. You know, we have one focus, and that's Biya. And I don't want us to lose focus of the fact that we won an election. We defeated the president who has been there for 43 years, and the incumbent president, the outgoing president. That's what I want us to focus on. And the stories, all of these stories are really important, and there will be time to unwind and figure out what happened, how things happened, and all of these will go down in history. I think it's very unfortunate, the behavior of members of this party. I have been attacked. I think I must have blocked at least 300 trolls that are claiming to be from PCRN. I don't know that they are. I don't think they are. I really think they're regime trolls they're using the PCRN name to go after people because they don't want to do it under the CPDM name anymore. But I think it's so I would be hoping that opposition parties would come together. Even if they didn't win, that they would support the winner. And there's still hope. You know, I live in hope. I think hope is what got me this far. And I never expected, as much as I was dreaming of the moment where we would defeat these people, I didn't expect that we would be able to do it at the polls. And we did. And we did. And the story of Libyalem, the story of all of Southwest, Northwest, the story of some of the South, it really goes to point out how desperate they are to use dead people, the names of dead people, to cast votes for dead people, people that they killed. Can you imagine how cruel that is? But that also shows the level of desperation. And I don't want to leave without saying that we've had 2 arrests that I hope that we can. Oh, I see that Dominic is back, but the pastor is back. I just don't want to. We have people that have been arrested within the last few hours. One is Fabrice Lena from PP, and the second is Joachim Chameni.
Is it confirmed already?
I spoke with his wife just moments ago as I exited the camera here. So it is confirmed that he was arrested around 8 p.m. Douala time.
Okay, just a quick one there. We're looking forward for Sunday's protest. But within this period, the government has put in a machine that is going around trying to preach peace and making people to know that going out, discouraging people from going out. We got in Biya, the youth came out and they preach, they have a rally, they're moving around, they're promoting peace, they're telling people not to go out. We got already traditional rulers mobilizing and telling their people doing some traditional rites, like, threatening them not to go out. How will you, see the role of the government and traditional rulers in trying to bring down the protest, or so that the ballot box's verdict should not be pronounced?
I mean, it's not up to them. It's up to us, right? This is our election. This is our victory. And I'm not going to let people intimidate me. Joachim Chameni, who carried, and we don't have any information about Issa Ekane. I just want to remind people who these 2 people are, right? Because nobody can reach Issa Ekane either. We have to remember that they're the ones who started and selected Tchiroma as the coalition candidate for the Union for Change environment. We cannot underestimate the importance of, and they're the first ones who announced his victory. So we cannot underestimate the desperation of this regime to go and arrest Jukam and Anissa. They've been arrested so many times in their lives. I'm not worried about them. They'll be fine. They will be fine. I think it's not about Jukam and it's not about Anissa. They knew. I mean, I spoke with Jukam. I speak with him regularly, probably all the time, but I spoke with him a couple of days ago, and I was saying that I think it's Wednesday. I think that they started planning on arresting Jukam and Anissa and others. I may be on the list. They haven't gotten to me yet, but very early. So in order to send a message, and so they knew. They were very ready for this. And so I don't want it to be as an act of intimidation. It's not an act of intimidation. It's an act of desperation. That it shows how desperate they are. That how weak can you be? How weak can you be to go arrest, political opponents? How weak can you be? And so they went on, and I thought it was a very, very smart political move. Because, of course, there have been rumors that they were going to go and launch an assault on Tchiroma and Garoua. And I thought it was a very astute move of his to come out and say, hey, there are rumors. I've heard that they're trying to launch an assault on us, on me here in Garoua. And of course, the regime stooges went on all over saying, "Oh, fake news, fake news, fake news."
So this intimidation tactics, that's how I will call it, because they are targeting those who are more vocal, those who are coming out to say victory has been stolen, or if care is not taken, people will go out.
We haven't. It's not stolen yet. They're trying to steal it, but it hasn't been
They're
stolen.
trying to steal it, yes, because it's not officially proclaimed yet. Issa Tchiroma says that he has won. What could be the broader implications? I mean, for other young Cameroonians who feel like they have voted for change and they want to see that change happening. These intimidation tactics, this arrest here and there,
as I
how
said,
could it affect the momentum, the people, the young people?
It's desperation. It's not intimidation. I've spoken to many of these young people. They're not afraid. I'm not afraid. I don't think Jukam is afraid. Anissa is not afraid, right? It's not fear. We don't fear. We really have to remember that if they were not so desperate, they wouldn't use such desperate measures. It's so weak. How weak can you be that you can't admit and accept defeat? That is weakness. That is weakness. And it shows that we're in a position of strength. I've said it over and over. The Cameroonians we found our voice and we found our power, and they're not going to take it away from us. And these stupid attempted intimidation techniques are just that. They are just repression. They are just an attempt to get us to be afraid, but we're not afraid anymore.
Mais Rebecca, cela semble des méthodes qui marchent. On sait très bien qu'autour non, je veux dire, non, je vais juste terminer. Autour des résultats, lorsqu'il y a une atmosphère qui est assez surchauffée, on sait très bien, puis vous avez parlé d'intimidation, qu'il y a des arrestations, il y a également des personnes qui sont parfois enlevées pour faire passer après le résultat que le régime pense est le sien. Alors, est-ce que le régime essaie simplement de mettre tout en place pour nous dire que le résultat que vous redoutez, vous, à votre niveau, sera exactement proclamé comme ils l'ont pensé? Qu'est-ce que vous dites en ce moment-là? Est-ce qu'on se dit ça va être la même chose et juste après, le calme va arriver et on va repasser cette autre année?
Le Cameroun ne sera plus jamais le même. On a passé une étape, et je pense que c'est sur cette émission toujours que j'ai dit, la révolution, elle a déjà commencé. La révolution, elle a déjà commencé. Eux, ils ne s'en rendent peut-être pas compte. Ils pensent qu'ils peuvent la stopper. Ils ne peuvent pas la stopper. On ne peut pas arrêter ce qui est en train de se passer au Cameroun. On est en train de changer de régime. On a chassé un régime et on l'a fait par les urnes. On nous a dit que c'était impossible. Et impossible n'est pas camerounais. On l'a fait. Et donc, ça prendra peut-être pas 2 jours, ça prendra peut-être pas 10 jours, ça prendra peut-être des mois, mais on va les chasser. Ils vont partir. Et il faut pas, moi, c'est inutile. Ils vont pas arrêter 1 million de Camerounais. Il n'y a même pas de place, il n'y a plus de place à New Bell, il n'y a plus de place à Kondengi. C'est plein.
I was in New Bell. I was in New Bell. There are no beds there for anyone.
Il n'y a pas la place.
Okay, Mimi, please.
Yes, we have the paramount ruler of Balong in Kumba 3, and he is also supposed to join us. But before that, Rebecca, are you going to go out as well on Sunday? The call has been made.
You know, I unfortunately, because I thought it would be Monday or Tuesday, I have some business to attend to. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will be out for as long as it takes. To have them hear us. And I will be side by side with my brothers and sisters to claim what is ours, the victory that is ours. I will be there.
That means
we are not sending Rebecca away. The chief has to come up to join this conversation. Rebecca, be there. Chief Oscar Sona Ebanja of Mukonje. He is a paramount ruler of the Balong in Kumba 3. That is joining us from the United States. If he's there, we want to hear a word from him. Hello, Your Highness. Welcome.
Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome, His Majesty.
We are so glad to have you. So you are one of the few traditional rulers or traditional leaders who openly called for accountability. I mean, after the presidential elections took place on the 12th of October in Cameroon. Why did you decide to take such a stance when we are seeing other traditional rulers looking the other way or calling for peace?
Sadly, I think we don't understand what peace is. You know, sometimes we confuse ceasefire for peace. You know, I'm not speaking out for a moment, but for a generation. You know, my role is not to reign in peace, but to champion the conditions to create peace. More to say, that's kind of my vision. You know, when the people's quest for a purpose and dignity is met with obstruction, silence from a leader is not peacemaking. You know, it is betrayal of trust. So I speak because it's only a tree that will remain standing after you've threatened to cut it down. You know, and as for my fellow traditional rulers, they have their reasons for doing what they are doing. You know, whatever they may be, but peace is not something you look for. It's something that finds you. Do you really think the common man wants to go out there and really just destroy the very properties that was built to serve them? Do you really think the Cameroonians are so violent that you have to go around spreading peace packages like please, peace? No, we are not.
His Majesty, we got some traditional rulers, some right inside the rivers, trying to carry out some rituals, you know, threatening people not to go out because they're going to destroy places. Others are calling on their natives not to go out and so on. How will you, what is your take on such actions by traditional rulers?
I think their fear is misguided. It's really tradition, more to say, in my opinion, is more. It's more about uniformity. You know, to mistake a cry for justice for a cry of anger is to misunderstand the human spirit. If you get what I'm trying to say, the Cameroonian people, like I said, are not an angry bunch of people. We are resilient. We are hardworking. We are a joyful people. The common man doesn't want to wake up, you know, and decide to destroy properties. Our dream is simple.
More so that they're not even planning to destroy any property anyway.
See, yes. So that it is not even their desire. What we simply want, our dream is simple, to provide our daily bread for our families and to find meaning in our hard work, in our labor. But when you deny a people in individuality and purpose for years. When the path to providing for their family is blocked at every single turn, and then you disregard their final, most sacred resort for change, which is their voices through their votes, you leave them with no choice but to grasp for meaning by any means necessary.
Yeah, most
I'm
of
not
these
inciting
traditional
anger,
rulers
please.
that we listen, yes, Your Majesty, most of these traditional rulers that we listen to are our grandfathers. And some of them are from the older generation. That's how we see it. And that's actually the reality. Do you really think that are their thoughts reflecting what ordinary Cameroonians want and need when you listen to them?
In my opinion, no, it doesn't. And I don't know what really is their fear. It's not about a traditional ruler being political. In the videos I've released, I did not talk about any political party or any candidate, just for integrity. Let the people's voices be heard. You know, fear is a human emotion, more to say, but there's a greater fear than fear for one's life, which is,
But if they are
in my
not
opinion,
scared,
the
they are
fear
not
for one's
scared
soul.
because they were invited to the presidency. You know, they've been invited to the presidency. They've held meetings
were.
with the Secretary General of the presidency. They've held meetings with
Yeah,
authorities in
I just have
Cameroon.
one question, Mimi. I just have one question regarding that, because when at the beginning Chief was saying that it was not like firm on what his colleague has been doing like within or around the presidency. Is it a problem according to you that some for like authorities go and talk to the system in place, like in Itudi? Is it a problem according to you?
For me, it's not necessary. Look, the issues Cameroon is facing, or the issues that people are crying out for, doesn't warrant that. It's so simple. Why would you call for peace when election results are being read? I find it hard to really comprehend. I find that hard to. We are just asking for respect. Let the citizens believe that their choices matter. They're going to the presidency or whatever. It doesn't. Well, we are in a
But
society where.
how neutral can they be when they are paid also by the government? We know that the state pays the first, the second, and the third class chiefs in Cameroon.
Exactly, Mimi, because one of them said that they want that Paul Biya should continue because they have 50,000 francs at the end of every month. So is it like a cry for hunger and for their stomachs without thinking of their, the rest of the population?
Okay, let me just state this, and I made this clear in my second video. If I'm being offered money by the government, I will take it, but I won't take it in the form of cash. I won't take it in the form of a wire transfer or cryptocurrency. I will take it in the form of good roads that connect our communities. I'll take it in the form of equipped hospitals so they can provide affordable, and I stress the word affordable, healthcare to our people. I'll take it in the form of government employees receiving their salaries from the very first day of service and do not have to suffer in pain for months without pay. I'll take it in the form of initiatives for the youth and our working class to have dignity in jobs. What is 50,000 compared to the cry of the people? In a day and time when countries in Africa, Africa, whose GDP is not even up to that of Cameroon, have drones, I repeat, drones, AI, dropping medical supplies in rural areas. We in Cameroon, we boast of having a machine to print ID cards in 48 hours, which doesn't work in 2025.
Yes,
The issues we
Your
face.
Majesty, do you think?
Yeah.
Sorry,
You can go ahead. You
Sandrine,
can
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Mimi. No, you can go
No,
ahead.
I just wanted to ask Your Majesty whether do you think the chiefs have a choice? Because I had an interview with the phone of Babungo. Most of the chiefs in the Anglophone regions are now IDPs in Cameroon. Others are in exile. Others cannot even go to the conflicted northwest and the southwest regions. Do you really think that they are also victims of intimidation? I don't want to be devil's advocate, but I'm just trying to present the situation that we all know. Most of these chiefs that we are talking about, do you think that they have any other choice than to just, keep praising the government in place? Are they just fighting for existence? Or there are other options for them?
The stool of a traditional ruler is a unique one. It's not a political position. Some of them have become that, but it's not a political one. You are there to serve your people. You're not there for fear of your own life. I'm not saying they should not be concerned for their safety. The ancestors did not give you the title to be a custodian for your own safety, but to be the guardian of your own people's destiny. If you fail in doing that, then I think you've lost your very own way as a leader. They do have a choice. You always have a choice. They do.
I want to bring in Rebecca.
Is it okay for you as a chief to have to support a political party or no?
No, it is okay because as a citizen of the Republic, it is within my right to belong to a political party. I don't stop the chiefs from belonging to the political party, but your duty first is to your people.
But most of the chiefs are CPDM. Most of them are CPDM.
My village has always been CPDM, for the record.
So even
it has always been CPDM. However, my devotion is not to CPDM. My devotion is to the Balong people. It's to the people of Mukonje village. First, before any other thing. So if that is being compromised, every other thing becomes irrelevant to me. So yes, I will say it again, they do have a choice.
Okay. Chief, your people, did they tell you whom they voted for? Did they tell you Issa Tchiroma Bakary won in your village? Or?
Okay. First of all, it is their right. And it's personal. I don't discuss that with them. The campaigns were being made and they did vote. Some voted for SDF, some voted for CPDM, some voted for the other parties. I do not influence them on who to vote. I enlighten them actually and empower them to make their decision and stand by it in good faith.
Okay, so between Paul Biya and Issa Tchiroma Bakary, if we were to make a revote, whom will you ask them to vote?
Once again, I'm not telling them to vote. I'm apolitical as their leader, but my service is more dedicated to their destiny, to where my people is going. Sorry, where my people are going, more to say. So I'm not there to say, vote for this candidate or for that candidate. Vote your conscience.
Your Majesty, when you say that there's need for accountability, I mean, in the 12th of October presidential election, what do you mean exactly? Do you mean Issa Tchiroma Bakary has won and should be given his victory?
Okay, as you can see, there's already a lot of irregularities in the results. Let's call a spade a spade. There are some towns that have inflated numbers. Even the Bible says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If Issa Tchiroma Bakary is the people's choice, he should be given the mandate. If President Paul Biya is the people's choice, he should be given the mandate. I just ask for the truth to be spoken and the people's and integrity to be shown, because when they do that, the people will respond in kind. That is all. This peace they are trying to impose,
one of the biggest
it's
problems
not
that we've
far-fetched.
had in the past few days, one of the biggest problems that we've had in the past few days is the fact that the authorities, those who have the voice, are not calling the spade a spade. we've received analysts here, other politicians condemning fellow politicians for simply just saying that the people's will should be respected and that there should be accountability without stating clearly who is winning and who is losing, and whether the person who is losing should concede. Because when we are speaking without concrete examples, without telling the people exactly what should be said, it's like we are going in circles. We need to be able to speak the truth and tell the people, the Cameroonian people, what the truth is. What is your truth, Your Highness? Who is the winner of the election? I mean, from your locality, from your division, from your region, who is the winner?
Okay. From my division in the village, CPDM won the election in my village. Now, my village, the results from my village alone does not reflect the nation. Now, when we look at the results, when we look at the results of the nations, what we see clearly is FSNC so far has won in the vital states, if not all. That is what we see. But then, as I said, there's a lot of irregularities. Clearly, the victory has gone to Issa Tchiroma. That is what we see. But it is amazing and a little bit disturbing that giving an answer to this particular question is uncomfortable in a country where we should exercise our civil rights. It is very, very clear what the Constitutional Council needs to do in order for there to be peace. They should speak the truth. Based on what I have seen, it is clear. I'm not saying I'm advocating for any political party. What I see is Issa Tchiroma has won the election. If that is the truth, okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to confirm from you.
No, yes.
Because we're speaking
if that is the case,
water in our mouth before.
No. I'm straightforward to that. If that is the case, he should be given the mandate peacefully. If that is not the case, if another party won, okay. But what I see is that he won.
Rebecca Inonchong is still there. I wanted to ask her a question about our traditional institutions.
I'm sorry, I might be distracted. We have Jukam Chamini, it's now Anissa Ikane, Dr. Momo have all been arrested. If I'm distracted, it's because I'm trying to get the latest information about them. They are still at their homes, digging through. This is Biya. From family members. I'm told that there are people from the Biya. We know the Biya, us Anglophones, we know them very well. They are the ones that are going around arresting leaders of the opposition that have supported Tchiroma's campaign. So so you'll spare me while I continue to on getting more information about that.
Yeah, définitivement. Mais Rebecca, ça veut dire que c'est déjà une réponse du gouvernement actuel j'allais dire, à l'annonce de Issa Tchiroma Bakary pour dimanche. Est-ce qu'on peut prendre ça comme ça?
Comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, ça montre vraiment leur désespoir. C'est un acte désespéré. Ce n'est pas de l'intimidation, là. C'est it's desperation. C'est de la lâcheté. Vous n'avez même pas le courage d'affronter vos opposants, vos adversaires, sans les enfermer. C'est ça votre réponse? La réponse à l'appel à une manifestation pacifique. Pacifique, c'est l'arrestation de tout le monde. Ils ont manifesté. Vous leur reprochez quoi exactement? À part d'avoir dit la vérité. Et la vérité, c'est qu'on a gagné les élections. Vous allez nous punir parce que vous avez perdu. Vous allez nous punir parce que vous avez perdu. Vous allez essayer d'intimider tout un peuple. Mais Je comprends même pas. C'est-à-dire que you can't be this desperate. You can't be this stupid to think that this is going to make a difference. Et tout d'un coup, Biya va gagner tout simplement parce que on a arrêté ceux qui parlent fort. C'est vraiment un acte de I don't know how to say it in French, désespoir.
C'est ça, de désespoir.
Ça montre vraiment la faiblesse de ce régime, parce que s'ils avaient eu une réponse, ils nous auront amené les preuves, comme pour les BLM, pour dire que non, on a gagné les élections. Ce que Tchiroma dit, ce que Jokam dit, ce que Rebecca dit, ce n'est pas vrai. Parce que voici les preuves, voici les procès-verbaux, voici la liste électorale pour les bureaux de vote qui ont voté pour Biya. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on ne voit pas un seul de leur PV? On n'a pas vu un seul PV. Le RDPC ne nous a présenté aucun PV pour justifier des chiffres qu'ils veulent annoncer par la Cour constitutionnelle. Pas un seul. On doit simplement les croire sur parole. Et on voit là le représentant là d'un des partis qui était sur le terrain qui dit que personne n'a voté. Et que
I don't think the government was ready for these surprises. They weren't ready for Tchiroma. They weren't ready for the mobilization behind Issa Tchiroma Bakary and the strategy behind Issa Tchiroma Bakary's campaign. But looking at this reaction from the authorities, what impact does it have on Cameroon's democracy and, freedom of expression? Because going out to manifest or to protest peacefully is a fundamental right, is a right in Cameroon.
One question to add to that. Why am I safe to proclaim Paul Biya the winner of this election before Monday, but I'm not safe to say Issa Tchiroma is a winner before Monday?
Yes,
if I go around saying,
which brings me to the
Biya,
question of democracy. Which brings me to the question, Rebecca, of democracy. How is this?
In a democracy. I don't think anybody thinks that we're in a democracy. We're not.
We're
in a
not.
dictatorship. We've been in a dictatorship, and we finally kicked these people out. And of course, like any animal that has been injured, that has not been killed, this is their last
action. The postponement of the proclamation of results to Monday was not just a coincidence. It was a well-calculated move, and they're now doing what they wanted to do.
But I think it's an act of desperation. It doesn't change the result. It doesn't change the resolve of the Cameroonian people. We know what happened. We know we won this election. And if they want to put us all in jail, put us all in jail. How? How will that solve the problem? Will that make the result different than what it is? There's a reality. And if they're not able to understand and to hear and to accept that reality, they're in a complete delusion. Arresting all these people, it won't change. These are people, the people that they're arresting, they've arrested before so many times. Look at them, still standing and still making a difference in this country. And so I think this is only what it will do. I remember, I don't know if you all remember, January 7th, it was, I think, January 17th, 2017, right at the beginning, right? There was that meeting in Biya where with all the leaders of these are the they were marching without, the lawyers in their lawyers' garb as peacefully as peaceful can be. And the government repressed their, and then that day, there was a meeting where government wanted to get these leaders to sign some document saying that they were going to stop and everything was okay and they would not talk about it. And they refused to sign. So they arrested them, Agorbala and all of them, for terrorism. Do you remember?
Yes.
There was no violence. There was no AMBA. There was no AMBA. On January 17th, 2017, there was no such thing as AMBA boys. You remember that?
Yeah.
At night, they disconnected the internet. And for 93 days, we went without internet in the northwest and the southwest of the country for 93 days. What happened? It only escalated the situation. It radicalized people. And so these same acts, the same reaction of desperation, of an inability to dialogue with your adversary, an inability to see the reality that's in front of you, that inability, that weakness that this regime has is now demonstrating itself again. This is exactly the same thing. How do they expect the results to be any different? Did the arrest of Agbobala change the outcome of the war? There was no war. There were demonstrations, peaceful ones. Peaceful. There was no AMBA. There was no AMBA. There were no AMBA boys. That's it. It didn't exist. So what happened? These same beer. So you're going to radicalize people that just expressed their opinion. All they did was express their opinion, which is a right. And you have not been able to prove them wrong. You haven't even tried to prove them wrong. I asked the minister, Grégoire Owona, he was on Twitter a few days ago talking about, oh, how can you proclaim results, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Mr. Minister, where are your PV? Where are they? Let's see them, right? And then let us, the people, assess. If we are wrong, we will recognize that we're wrong. But you don't have any evidence. You don't have any evidence. You're not even showing us evidence. Why? Because we know it's fabricated. We know that les BLM didn't vote for Paul Biya. We know that over 300,000 people did not vote for Paul Biya.
We know that Batibo didn't vote. Batibo didn't even vote at all.
So yeah, you're saying that you want to jail us for telling the truth? Where is your truth? Where is your proof? So I think, to be honest, I think it's just, as I said, it's an act of desperation. It's not.
Yes, Rebecca, you've just described a government that doesn't learn from the mistakes of the past.
But we have learned.
Yeah, we have learned, but the government is not. You can see that they are arresting people that are saying that Issa Tchiroma Bakary has won, people that are supporting an opposition candidate who is Issa Tchiroma Bakary. What is the way forward?
I think we just need to forge ahead. We as the people, we changed. So, the government hasn't changed, but what they don't realize is that we have fundamentally changed as a people. We have fundamentally changed. We're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore.
Rebecca, il est quand même clair que lorsqu'on parle de l'opposition au Cameroun, on vient de citer M. Ndjoué Kapchamini, M. Anissé Kane. Si on parle de vous, vous êtes activiste depuis très longtemps, mais c'est les mêmes qu'il y a tout autour de cette élection présidentielle. Est-ce que vous croyez vraiment à la mobilisation dimanche prochain avec le climat actuel, le climat politique, les arrestations et autres?
Que ce soit dimanche, lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, cette mobilisation, elle aura lieu. Donc, s'ils pensent qu'ils vont retarder la mobilisation dimanche parce qu'ils ont militarisé toutes les villes, vous n'allez pas militariser la ville pendant des mois et des mois. Et à un moment donné, on va s'exprimer. Et donc, je veux qu'ils comprennent que le Camerounais a changé. Ce n'est plus le Camerounais de 2018, ce n'est plus le Camerounais de 2011, ce n'est même plus le Camerounais de 1992. On a pris nos leçons et on a pris nos responsabilités. Donc, si vous n'avez pas changé, si vous n'avez pas compris que nous avons changé, donc je pense que on va gagner, le peuple gagne toujours. On va gagner cette bataille.
Alors, on est peut-être là dans une contradiction parce qu'on sait en même temps qu'au niveau du gouvernement, on a des appels à la paix quasi tous les jours et on a en même temps
des appels à la paix. Mais la paix, oui. elle ne se fait pas en violant les droits des citoyens tous les jours. C'est pas comme ça qu'on fait la paix. Je peux pas dire que vous appelez à la paix et vous venez me mettre un fusil sur la tête et vous dire oui, voilà la paix. L'absence de la violence, ce n'est pas la paix. L'absence de l'expression, ce n'est pas la paix. L'absence de la contradiction, ce n'est pas ça la paix. On n'impose pas la paix par décret. Vous avez vu tous les décrets qui sont sortis là? Yaoundé qui en fait, c'est presque, je ne sais pas comment on appelle en français, mais curfew. Pendant, attends, c'est ça la paix? La paix, elle est imposée? On n'impose pas la paix. On n'impose pas la paix.
Bah, il se dit également que ceux qui sont autour de Issa, vous allez me corriger si c'est faux, Issa Tchiroma Bakary refuse des discussions. On sait par exemple que, ne serait-ce qu'à Garoua, le Lamido n'a pas pu lui parler. On a également entendu parler de cette proposition pour le poste de Premier ministre, entendu parler de gouvernement d'union. Est-ce que le régime ne se sent pas aussi quelque peu forcé à arriver à ce type de solution, même si ce ne sont pas les bonnes, pour tenter de voir ce que l'on peut faire d'ici à lundi prochain?
Ils ont qu'à essayer, mais nous, on a déjà choisi. C'est-à-dire, on a déjà voté un nouveau président. On n'a pas voté un Premier ministre. On a voté un président. Donc, qu'on respecte la décision du peuple. C'est tout ce qu'on demande. On ne demande pas plus que ça. Vous nous donnez lundi, vous annoncez que le vainqueur de cette élection, c'est celui qu'on a choisi par les votes dans les urnes. Nous, on n'a pas de problème, on continue. Il y a une transition qui peut s'organiser. Et donc, si la discussion avec M. Tchiroma, elle est autour d'une transition qui est apaisée, qui est organisée, moi, on n'est pas contre. Mais vous ne pouvez pas, parce que vous êtes des très mauvais perdants. Et vous pensez que le Biya, vous allez encore tuer tous les Camerounais? C'est incroyable, ça. Vraiment, c'est incroyable. Je ne sais pas, j'espère, je sais qu'ils écoutent, parce que les renseignements généraux, là, eux, ils font leur travail. Si quelqu'un d'autre ne fait pas son travail, au moins eux, ils font leur travail. Donc, dans votre rapport…
They are watching, they have representatives everywhere, even in the media, they have representatives everywhere.
Right? So
yes, they have representatives everywhere, believe me.
Let me make it easy for you. Let me make it easy for you. We're not changing. We made a decision. We're not going back on that decision. It was not a negotiation. En fait, quand on allait aux élections, ce n'était pas un outil de négociation pour avoir des meilleures conditions. C'était pour chasser ce régime. Et donc, on a gagné. On a pu chasser ce régime par les urnes. On a pris notre décision et on va prendre nos responsabilités. Donc, toutes ces tentatives d'intimidation ne font que radicaliser la population. Et vous ne pouvez pas mettre le feu et puis appeler à la paix, parce que la paix, elle ne s'impose pas.
Alors, I like that statement. You cannot light the fire and call for peace. Let's go to Your Majesty and just ask, because first you called for accountability. That was after the election, but now the results will be proclaimed on Monday, and the opposition leader Issa Tchiroma Bakary says that Cameroonians should go out on Sunday. What is your message to your people?
Okay, my message to the people, this is what I want to say, and I'll be as direct as possible. Your desire for a better life is not a crime. Your quest for daily bread and for a future for our kids is the most honorable pursuit. Do not let anyone tell you that wanting a functioning hospital or a decent school or a timely salary is a political act. It's actually a human one. So hold on to your hope, channel it. The strength of a river is not in its flood that goes around, it destroys, but in the persistent flow that shapes our landscape. You know, the people are not violent. The people are asking that their voices be respected. All the arresting or propaganda going on will not instill peace. Peace is not something you impose. I will say it again. You don't use violence to instill peace. Calmness in the face of oppression is not peace. respect the people's voice. It's not complicated. Respect the people's voice. It's obvious who won the elections. It's obvious. I've said it here.
Okay. His Majesty, you talked a while ago, a quick one to there. We have the longest serving monarch in Cameroon, who is the Majesty of Baminjum, Sokojo Jean Ramon, who has also called on the Cameroonians to go for peace, but not, however, not calling them to go for cowardice. And we know that he has been one of the chiefs or traditional rulers in Cameroon that have been vomiting, say spitting fire in Cameroon when it comes to this. When they invite people to the presidency, he doesn't go. He says he's not hungry. And he told a story of himself of how he suffered in the hands of this government, and how the worst one of it is how the wives were even, raped right in front of him, and he watched the people raped his wife, but then he survived it. So he's just begging Cameroonians to go for peace, but not giving themselves to cowardice. So what is your reaction to such an outing?
Okay. Let me just ask you, I don't know if I'll call it a rhetorical question. Is the government being peaceful? The government who is asking for peace, are they being peaceful?
Answer is obvious.
Exactly. So, I'm a figures person. I'm a mathematician. The 1 + 1 is not giving 2 here. It's not complicated. If you want peace, respect the people's voice. Speak the truth. This is not a heart transplant here.
On that note, we are going to bring in Eric Chinjer, who is joining us now. Good evening to you, Eric, and welcome. We are having this conversation this night after Issa Tchiroma Bakary called for nationwide protest on this Sunday. But we're also having breaking news that Jokam Chameni and Issa Ekane, who are members of the UPC, Union pour le Changement du Cameroun, have been arrested, including Fabrice Lena, who was the campaign manager of Ateki, who was the presidential candidate. I just wanted to find out from you, because Rebecca was saying earlier that this is not an act of intimidation, it's an act of desperation. What would be your reaction?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mimi. Thank you, Sandrine. Good to see you, ladies, again. And congratulations for what you've been doing so far.
Thanks.
I've been receiving a lot of calls from across the planet, literally. I thought only people in Cameroon watched this show, but the calls have been coming in from everywhere: Germany, United States, Canada, and so on. So congratulations for what you're doing. And
Thank you.
It's all contributing to addressing this, to helping us deal with this historical turning point in our history. So thank you for that. I'm glad to meet Loveleen, and obviously His Royal Highness, Chief Ebanja. This is a very important, as I said, turning point in the history of our country, and we cannot back down. We have to help in determining the future of Cameroon. This is what this is all about. I have a lot of friends in government, and I would love to make life easier for them. I'd love my friend Dion Gute to continue to be Prime Minister and have an easy life. But this is not about him. This is about Cameroon. If anybody out there is thinking that we're here to mess things up in Cameroon, please think again. We want a better country, all of us. And the country as it is now is not good enough. This is not the Cameroon we've been fighting for.
Hasn't been in a while.
No, it's not been in a while. So people should understand that. I personally have nothing against Mr. Biya. As a matter of fact, I have very good relations until recently with the president. So, but this is not about him either. As a matter of fact, if he loves Cameroon, Mr. Biya will step down. He will call Tchiroma. He'll recognize the need for change in the country, and he'll recognize the fact that Tchiroma is an embodiment of the change that Cameroonians want. So I'm using this platform to appeal with Mr. Biya, not to let all the band of, there are people around him. There are people around him, Gongo, Chantal, Baboke, Ayolo, and so on. I'm pleading with Mr. Biya not to let those people, take his view, intervene, interject their views on how he sees his place in history. Mr. Biya has a choice. He's at a junction right now. He has a choice of either leaving office with dignity and honor as a statesman, or to be dragged through the mud if he insists on what he's doing. Mr. Biya will end up badly, and anybody who's hearing this should try and get the message to him. If President Biya insists on doing what his people want him to do, to, in his old age, take power and have them run power, have Ngongo run the country. We're not giving any political legitimacy or authority to Ngongo or to Ayolo or any of them. So if that's what Mr. Biya wants, I hope he's conscious of it and he's making that decision knowledgeably. But we know full well that the president is not in a place where he can make decisions for himself fully. So we want all those ministers who are in support of what they know is true. My friend Etuningwa Mbarga Mbo, Akanganji, my younger brother, all of them, they know as well as we do that they're not fighting for Mr. Biya. They're fighting to hold on to power for themselves. They're fighting to protect their interests. And yet Cameroon can do better. Cameroon needs better. Cameroon can evolve on a different trajectory. We can rebuild the economy. We can rebuild our educational systems and our health systems and so on. They know that.
Oui, mais Eric, est-ce qu'on peut donc se dire que ce qui va se passer lundi, on suppose que, et je pense qu'on l'a dit déjà ici, que le Conseil constitutionnel va simplement déclarer M. Biya. Vous venez de dire que tous les ministres en place essaient simplement de rester dans leur département ministériel, à la tête de ce qu'ils font, garder leur portefeuille. Vers quoi est-ce qu'on s'achemine alors dès lundi prochain? Qu'est-ce qui va se passer au Cameroun?
On espère toujours. Nous avons fait une lettre aux membres, à chaque membre du Conseil constitutionnel. Nous avons déposé des lettres dans leur bureau hier ou avant-hier.
Ben vous savez que le Conseil constitutionnel vient juste de se prononcer encore. Aujourd'hui, ce vendredi, ils ont encore déclaré la requête des maîtres Sim et Ntimbane irrecevable, cette requête dans laquelle ils demandaient le recomptage des votes. Si vous avez envoyé des lettres, est-ce que vous n'avez pas l'impression qu'on va se retrouver dans la même situation? Est-ce que vous y croyez?
L'essentiel, ils auront face à eux, d'ici lundi, ils auront l'histoire face à eux. Ils auront le pays et l'avenir des millions, des millions, des dizaines de millions de jeunes devant eux. Et dans notre correspondance à ces juges, à ces membres du Conseil constitutionnel, nous avons plaidé pour une meilleure appréciation de la situation de notre pays. S'ils le font, c'est tant mieux. S'ils ne le font pas, en tout cas, ils auront l'histoire. Mais croyez-moi, ils ne peuvent pas. Pour les membres qui suivent Mimi Mefo Info ce soir, les membres du comité constitutionnel, du Conseil constitutionnel, ou les membres, ceux qui peuvent avoir contact avec eux, qu'ils le savent, il ne peut pas changer le cours de l'histoire.
Yes, so Your Majesty, yes, Your Majesty, let me just come in here and ask you. You've just heard from Eric what Eric is saying about, the fact that the government needs to listen, and that it's very, very crucial at this point in time. And what could be the repercussions? I mean, looking at how you are observing the political scene in Cameroon, what if it doesn't happen? I mean, we know that it's a government that does things the opposite way. When people say they want democracy, we see brutality. When people say we want justice, they will be calling for peace, but brutalizing and threatening people. Now people just say we just want the truth from the ballot and they're arresting opposition leaders. Do you think that we can see something differently between now and Monday? I mean, precisely on Monday when we are expecting the official results to be proclaimed.
Yes, to support what Mr. Eric said, history, we've watched this over and over again, just different actors. It has never ended well for people who are carrying out such acts. Like he said, they are not doing this because they have the Cameroon people at heart. They are not. They have to listen. They have to listen to what the people have said. And failure to do that, failure to do so, they were able to manage, we've been able to survive the Amber crisis or the Southern Cameroon crisis for close to a decade now because it's a small part of the country. I'm talking about north to south, east to west. Is calling for a change. And they are ready to go at every length. It will result to loss of life. And eventually, the outcome of this, it's not going to be victory on either side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm happy.
Sorry, yes, we heard Your Highness talking about the chiefs in Cameroon. They've been so silent, quiet. Those who are speaking up are siding with the regime. Some are calling for peace without justice. Others are calling for calm, telling the people not to go to the streets. We also hear some of the chiefs really going very brutal on some of the opposition candidates, particularly Issa Tchiroma Bakary. With all of this, I know how we used to perceive traditional rulers in Cameroon before. I mean, before even the conflict, it was completely different. But we cannot compare what happened between the time when the Anglophone crisis took place and now, because a lot of things happened and it was not the doing of some of the chiefs. So, but looking at how some of them are reacting now, and these are the custodians of tradition. These are people that are respected, supposed to be respected within communities.
Yes.
And they looking the other way when their people are calling, the population is calling for justice, calling for their voices to be heard. Do you think that even in future, the institution, because to me, it's an institution, the traditional rulers and chiefs, it is an institution in Cameroon. Do you think that in future they would be respected again?
Yeah. Look, Mimi, this is the whole point. We're looking at people have not voted for Issa Tchiroma. People in Cameroon have voted for change. And within the broad scope of change, we're looking at how traditional leaders, how their place in our society is reorganized and respected. I've noticed in the comments somebody extolling, praising Chief Ebanja for the position he has taken. I've just noticed that. That is the view of thousands, maybe millions of Cameroonians. We want to reposition all of that. This is a regime, the government in place now has compromised the respectability of our traditional leaders. Even our ancestors Chief Ebanja, I can tell you this. Even our ancestors in their graves are turning and wondering what happened.
Yes. Yes.
So, we want to redefine all of these things, whether it's about the traditional leadership, whose place in any society, especially an African society, should be at the top of our social considerations. We should listen. Today, the most respected, the one moral authority in that country today is Chief Sokuju. Why? Because he's refused to play the game of the others. And I can say very easily that I'm sure that Chief Ebanja is going to be the next one. They have the moral authority because they are linked. They are our bridge. They are our link to our ancestors, to our history. So the change we want in Cameroon today has to do with that. The place that our traditional leaders occupy in our society. The place that how we approach our economy. That's the change we want. We want an economy where jobs are created, not an economy where young people leave university and they're on motorcycles driving around and often dying from accidents because of the state of our roads. We want an economy where our roads get the attention they deserve, where our hospitals and our schools get the attention they deserve.
Okay, Eric, somebody is trying to
want change where our country, Cameroon, is respected. I live abroad.
Yeah,
I know that everywhere they're asking, what is happening in Cameroon? Everybody is in a state of this, people can't understand what's going on. We hope that all of this will change. That's the change we want. Sorry, Loveline, I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, you needed to go to the end. I just want to say that we're looking at the fact that Anise and Njekam have been picked up. So we look back 9 or 10 years ago where Agombala and the Nebafontaine too were picked up at the eve of a likely event, as we can say. Is it like something that is announcing something that is going to take long? Or how do you foresee what the government is doing now? Just because Mimi said a while ago that it's like government has refused to learn from their past mistakes.
This is a very weak, frightened, scared government.
Move. Desperation.
In a total state of desperation. What we have to do, look, we should, if Njekam and Anise and the rest of them are kept in the jails of this government for a few more days, Cameroon should come out. This is not Njekam's fight or Anise's fight.
For sure, don't be surprised that after the proclamation on Monday, they'll be released as if nothing happened. Don't be surprised.
I won't be surprised, but they may be kept in there because this government is frightened. So we need people, they need to understand, and that's why I'm saying it here. Paul Biya will not govern Cameroon beyond Monday. He will stay in office until he hands over, but he will be incapable of governing a peaceful, developing country. It's not going to happen. They better know that. So let us do the right thing. And I appeal to those presidents
Qu'est-ce que vous avez demandé aux membres du Conseil constitutionnel? Qu'est-ce que vous leur demandez de faire? Parce que vous nous avez dit que vous avez adressé des lettres à chacun des membres du Conseil constitutionnel. C'est quoi votre requête? Qu'est-ce que vous leur demandez?
On a regardé un certain nombre d'options et on leur a proposé ces options. Nous avons cité le cas, par exemple, du Kenya. Il y a d'autres pays où l'équivalent de leur conseil constitutionnel a posé des actes pour apaiser la situation au pays, pour lire la loi telle que ça se présente, pour revoir les élections si ça s'impose. Et c'était le cas au Kenya. Le Kenya a le Conseil constitutionnel, l'équivalent au Kenya, a annulé ces élections. Donc, M. Atangana et ses copains et copines, enfin, ses amis, ses collègues, permettez-moi de le dire comme ça, ses collègues ont la possibilité d'annuler ces élections et de demander, n'est-ce pas, quand on organise encore les élections, ils ont la possibilité de retarder l'annonce des résultats pour mener une enquête plus approfondie. Ils peuvent le faire. Ils peuvent aussi dire que, donner les résultats des urnes. Donc, ils peuvent annoncer la victoire de M. Tchiroma. Ils peuvent reporter l'annonce des résultats. Ils peuvent annuler ces élections. Donc, tout ça est possible. C'est une fois de plus, dans notre lettre, nous avons demandé, nous avons rappelé à M. Atangana qu'il est face à l'histoire, mais non seulement ça, il a l'avenir de ses enfants, de sa famille et des Camerounais tout entiers. N'est-ce pas, ce lundi-là?
Sur une échelle de 1 à 10, comment est-ce que vous évaluez que le Conseil constitutionnel va répondre de façon positive à votre demande, c'est-à-dire choisir une des options que vous leur avez proposées, en considérant qu'une est vraiment, on est sûr qu'ils ne le feront pas, ou 10, on pense qu'ils feront quelque chose, sur une échelle de 1 à 10, où est-ce que vous vous placez?
Moi, je mettrais ça à 3. Il y a, je le dis pourquoi, il y a 2 membres du Conseil constitutionnel qui ont, quand ils ont reçu la lettre du Project C, quand ils ont reçu cette lettre, ils ont dit, mais ils ont raison. Ces enfants ont raison. C'est ce qu'ils ont dit. Donc, il y a 2 membres qui sont prêts à soit retarder le processus, annuler le processus, demander, n'est-ce pas, une réorganisation des élections. Donc, il y a 2 sur les 9 ou les 10. Donc, ça veut dire quoi? Ça veut dire qu'il n'y a pas, ils ne sont pas tous d'accord sur l'annonce de ces résultats. Nous avons appris aujourd'hui aussi que le président Biya il a demandé plus d'informations parce qu'il aimerait savoir. Parce que d'après lui, si Issa a gagné, il faut qu'on lui donne. Enfin, c'est ce que certaines personnes ont dit. Que le président, il est de 2, il n'est pas sûr, n'est-ce pas, s'il faut continuer, parce qu'il a dit, d'après ce qu'il a dit, il ne veut pas laisser un pays en feu et en sang. Apparemment, c'est ce que M. Biya a dit. Donc, faisons tout pour l'encourager. Parce qu'il le sait, et on le sait, que si le Conseil constitutionnel insiste là-dessus, ça va éclater. Qu'ils veuillent ou pas, ça va éclater lundi.
OK. Bien, mais il y a déjà des arrestations. Je ne sais pas. Est-ce que je peux poser juste une dernière question, Eric, avant qu'on passe à Rebecca? OK, bien. Alors, aujourd'hui, ou bien qu'est-ce qui va se passer selon vous? Je me souviens, vous nous avez dit ici que vous croyez beaucoup à M. Tchiroma. Vous nous avez dit que vous êtes certain que c'est un homme qui est loyal, qui croit en ses convictions. Et on peut déjà voir qu'il arrive à pousser quand même jusque dans des retranchements assez forts, le gouvernement en place. Alors, on sait également que le Conseil constitutionnel qui va se prononcer sur la base des résultats du Conseil, non pas du Conseil, de la Commission nationale de recensement général de vote, absolument, va se prononcer ou pourrait se prononcer sur la victoire de M. Paul Biya. À votre avis, à quoi est-ce qu'on doit s'attendre à la suite de la sortie du Conseil constitutionnel lundi prochain?
Pour moi, il n'y a même pas de doute. Je ne suis pas sur le terrain, moi je serai au Cameroun dans quelques jours. Je ne doute pas qu'il y aura, les Camerounais vont réclamer leur victoire. Qu'on ne se fasse pas d'illusions là-dessus. Et il faut que M. Biya le sache, que M. Atangana le sache, et que tous ces hommes et femmes qui croient que le ce pays leur appartient, qu'ils le sachent aussi. Ils ne vont pas régner comme ils l'ont fait jusqu'ici, avec arrogance, avec impunité. Ils ne vont pas le faire. Le Cameroun a dépassé ce stade-là. Nous ne sommes plus des moutons. Le pays n'est plus. Donc, il faut qu'ils le sachent. À partir de lundi, là, même si l'explosion ne se passe pas lundi, ça arrivera. Ils ne pourront plus gouverner le Cameroun comme ils l'ont fait jusqu'ici. Disons-le, et tous ceux qui nous écoutent aujourd'hui, dites-le avec conviction, avec détermination. Le Cameroun mérite mieux, on aura mieux, qu'ils veulent ou pas. Voilà la situation. Je ne sais pas si ça répond à ta question.
Absolument, absolument. On pourra revenir et s'étendre un peu plus dans un instant. Je pense que Hanson a une question.
Yeah, no, I wanted to bring in Dr. Blessed Efilo, who is joining us live to the US. I was talking with him a while ago, and he said that Tchiroma won and he should be given his victory. Dr. Blessed Efilo, welcome.
Hello, Dr. Blessed. Welcome.
Can you get us?
I think it's muted.
Can you hear me?
Can you
Perfect.
unmute yourself, Dr. Blessed?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes. Can you hear us now?
Yes. I end, so I couldn't hear the question if it was asked, but I just want to say thank you for bringing me on. My conviction as far as the situation we are facing in the country is concerned, as far as that is concerned, I believe that President-elect Issa Tchiroma Bakary won the elections, and I believe very strongly that our country can have a new president without us resorting to any form of violence. And I believe the first responsibility to keep the peace is with the government of Cameroon. And this would be done through justice, through fairness, and through truth. As a Cameroonian, I encourage my brothers and sisters to, make their voices heard in peace, through legal means, but also to know that truth always prevails. Truth always prevails, and that is my conviction as far as this particular election is concerned. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Blessed, in Dian division, from where you come from, what was the truth that came out from Dian? Did you people vote massively for the CPDM?
As far as I know, the people of Dian division have been going through a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to this whole AMBA stuff. And I saw the results that came from Dian with a lot of shock and trepidation, because I don't believe those numbers of people went out to vote. There are numbers of people that are said to have been, to have voted in my own village, for example, but I don't think anybody from my village voted. You know what I mean? So the results from Dian are totally fake, false. As far as I'm concerned, they are false results, because people want change. You cannot be telling me that the people of Dian are going to vote for somebody who has put them in the situation they are in for the rest of their lives. It doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense.
Okay, now, as someone from Dian who is in the diaspora, what next for your people?
I think at this point, the people need a lot of education. I think what our people need right now is education to understand that we can make a change happen. And how they do that is to, first of all, tackle the scouts of the regime that come to tell them, that come to get their names and send them as voters, whereas they did not vote. So maybe, tackling the municipal elections, the regional elections, those kinds of elections, and making sure that the people who speak for them are people who actually care about their plight and not people who only care about their bellies.
Yeah, no, you could see that. Right?
So I think the people of Nigeria need a lot of education at this point, a lot of political, a lot of civic education. That is what the people of Nigeria need at this point.
Okay, thank you, Sandrine. I know you wanted to bring Rebecca on board. Doctor, we shall be coming back to you subsequently.
Okay, so I think that maybe we need to fix this. The microphone. Ok, so Rebecca, est-ce qu'on a des dernières nouvelles en ce qui concerne Issa Kane, le docteur Aristide Mono et Njokam Chameni? Est-ce que Rebecca peut juste ouvrir son micro?
Sorry,
Merci.
I'm a journalist, even though I'm an invitee. I'm supposed to be. I'm coming with your breaking news. So yes, it is confirmed that Njokam Chameni, Issa Kane, and likely Dr. Mono have been arrested and are being taken to Yaoundé. From the last I spoke with a family member, it was elements of, for at least for Njokam. It was Biya. We know Biya, that descended. So Njokam has a school. He and his wife have a school in Bonaberi, and they live in an apartment within the school complex. It's a very large complex, and there's a dormitory in that school. And so these elements, they came in, they broke in. They didn't come present documents. They literally broke into the school property first. They went in. The students took all of their laptops of the students in the school that are in the dormitories. They came in and they took Njokam. They left with him. Others stayed behind and they're still there, from what I understand, have been ransacking the place, taking computers, any electronic equipment that they find. And same for Issa and Dr. Mono. Although I have not spoken with their families, I do have confirmation that they were arrested. I was told that all three of them are being taken to Yaoundé for questioning, and that they're being accused of having military and electoral equipment in their homes, which we know isn't true. Having spoken with them this week, I mean, I'm in contact with Njokam almost every day. And I saw Issa recently. They knew that the regime was planning on arresting them. And so they would never, not in a million years, have anything that would be at all incriminating in their presence. So we can expect that all sorts of, so please be careful. Also the Fabrice Lena, there's a video of his arrest. I hope that we can actually show you the video of his arrest. Fabrice Lena, for those of you who don't know him, he's a young politician who was this year eventually ended up in the UNDP, and has stated over and over that, based on the information that he had at his disposal, that the winner was Tchiroma. And so he was arrested. The reasons for his arrest are not political. They are saying they're using some other pretext, but please, in an atmosphere in the atmosphere that we're in, we shouldn't fall for the, oh no, it's another matter for which he was arrested. I saw a video of his arrest. These were plainclothes policemen who accosted him, took him, so we have to be very careful with it. This is again an attempt to silence dissent and to create fear within the population. So it's not going to work.
Yes, the last time that we had
Fabrice
Fabrice
Lina.
here,
Yeah, here.
Yeah, we
he
had
was
him
actually
recently.
talking about it. He raised those fears and
Yeah.
he said that he could potentially be picked up, but he will not stay calm. He will not be quiet and he will not sit back and see the people's victory stolen. And he is not one of those who would want to mince words to, please
Yeah. So let's watch the video.
whosoever.
So
Okay.
it's police is in the suit. He's in the suit.
On lui dit ça, de se calmer, parce que sinon on va le brutaliser. Tu as les gars, la police montre son badge. La police. Il voulait savoir si c'est les vrais policiers. Voilà le badge. Non, maman, je ne dois pas filmer ça.
Hmm.
So it was just a short clip, and then we could see from the back Fabrice Lina talking with three men. So
There's also a video of him confirming the arrest. But I wanted to ask you, Rebecca and Eric, maybe I start with Eric. It's something that I've not stopped wondering, a question I've not stopped asking myself. Why do you think that Biya, we know it's not Biya alone, the people around him, why are they so keen on staying in power after more than 40 years? I'm just wondering because we had even people like Leontele Onana coming to say, I'm a younger generation of the CPDM and I think that I can lead. At least that was a young person who was tired of President Biya. Somebody who thought that change could potentially happen and that it was time for young people to take over. Why do you think that we have ministers within his government, people within the same government, doing everything possible to keep Biya in power? What can explain that? Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I'm saying it's quite simple in answer to your question. There is a lust for power, clearly. There's greed. And after 4 decades of a system, all of these people have come to understand what it takes to rise in the system. They've come to understand that. And they want to, they're afraid of any change, anything new coming up. So there's, they know they'll get, every minister listening to me knows this. They know that as long as this system exists, they will figure out how to stay as ministers. They will figure out how to continue to have those bodyguards that they have. They'll figure out how to continue to have access to the resources of the country. It's about greed. It's about impunity. They know it. And then they know that their children will get jobs, which other children will not have, who, even though those children marry, they married those jobs. So it's all about a system that has survived in 40 years and they don't want it to change. They want to keep it as it is. Look, we've got to bring down this system. And I say, I have nothing. I don't want to become a minister in a government. I don't want to become, I don't want to have access to state resources in Cameroon. I don't seek any benefit, but I seek to belong to a country I am proud of. The only thing I want about this Cameroon is a country I can be proud of. Let Mr. I don't want to mention the names of my friends who are in government, but each one of them knows that what I'm saying is the truth. Each one of them knows it. Each one of them knows that the reason they want us to be here is because they cannot agree amongst themselves. For those Cameroonians who don't know, they cannot agree amongst themselves who should take over and run that country. Ngongo is afraid of Mutazi. Mutazi is afraid of Baboke. Baboke is afraid of Ayolo. Ayolo is afraid of Jangute. They're all afraid of each other. So what do? Compromise Mr. Biya. Let him get the power. He'll maintain the status quo, and we can continue to do what we want to do. This is the truth. It's not about Cameroonians. It's not about the thousands of young people who deserve to have jobs who don't have the jobs. It's not about the name of the country. The world is looking at us with, we've become the mocking child of planet world and of the African continent. Everybody's laughing at Cameroon. Everybody's wondering what's going on in Cameroon. They don't care. If they cared, they'll change. If they cared, they'll say, no, a 93-year-old man cannot run a country. Mr. Biya doesn't even know that he could use Zoom to have ministerial meetings. He doesn't even know that he could use WhatsApp to talk to his ministers and find out what they're doing. So he never does. He never does. He doesn't know about existing technologies. He doesn't know about the world as it is today, Mimi. That's what that's why we want change in Cameroon. It's not because of any single individual. It's because the country deserves it. It's because we can make a better country, and in a few years, give Cameroon to somebody else. Allow new ideas to come into, because one of the problems we have about these people is that they don't let any new ideas come in. Rebecca Nonchong has been in Cameroon for how many years trying to inject something different, trying to repeat what the Americans did and called Silicon Valley. Try to bring Silicon Mountain to Cameroon. That could have been something of a revolution in that country. But they don't allow it. It's not in it's not in the scheme of things for them. One of the things we are fighting for, the change we are fighting for, is for new ideas to come. I'm in touch with Cameroonians across the world, the United States, Europe, Asia. They all have ideas and things they want to go and do in that country. We will, in a couple of years, 1, 2, 3 years, Cameroonians alone who are in the diaspora, they will transform that country. We know it. Because they have the resources, they have the intellect, they have the access to people who matter, they have the expertise. Cameroonians will change that country. So every young man who is resisting, fighting for this change, every young Cameroonian, it's either those who have, whose parents have power, or those who are just totally ignorant. Every young Cameroonian should be fighting for change in Cameroon. And I hope that if the Constitutional Council makes the mistake of declaring Mr. Biya the winner of an election we know he didn't win, one, let's keep their names. Let's remember them. Let's remember Atangana Clement and all the others. I don't want to mention those 2 or 3 who are trying to pull away from it, from that decision. But let's remember their names. Let's remember the names of all the Anglophone leaders who allowed the Electoral to give the votes of Anglophones, including Amazonians, to Mr. Biya. How would the one regime that destroyed that part of the country, how can they have the audacity to go to Bamenda and Kumba and Boya and so on and say that Mr. Biya won in those places? The audacity that the man who destroyed that part of the country is the winner? Let me leave it. Let me stop at that.
Yes, so Dr. Bless is here and Your Majesty is also here. I wanted to ask a question. Dr. Bless can start. We just saw a video of Fabrice Lena being arrested, and we also have reports of arrest Ekane and Joga Chameni also arrested. Rebecca says that is desperation, it's not intimidation, because they are not Cameroonians are not intimidated at all. What would be your reaction? How do you see these actions how do you describe these actions being taken by the government?
I think I agree with Rebecca to say it is, desperation. They know, the government understands the atmosphere, they understand the heat that is under their feet right now. They understand that the average Cameroonian can see through the games, they can see through what they are doing, they can see through the injustice, they can see through the lies. The unfortunate thing for this government this time around is that this is not like last year or 2018 or maybe the years before 2018 when young people couldn't go into some of these polling stations and actually see and actually count, their votes. This year, people know exactly who they voted for. They themselves were counting the vote for the people they voted for, and so they know the truth. But the government is so afraid of that truth that it wants to make sure that whoever has that truth, remember that Fabrice was one of the first people from the other coalition who came out and said, hey, look, I went around Yaoundé to so number of polling stations, and I can confirm that Issa Tchiroma won. So that's a threat to the government, not a threat to the people. So the people themselves are not intimidated. It is the government that is intimidated by the power of the people. And guys like Fabrice, they are symbols of that people power, which the government is very, very afraid of at this moment. So what we as Cameroonians, as genuine Cameroonians, because at this point I'm beginning to feel like some people are only Cameroonian in name. What genuine Cameroonians should do is not to fear what is going on. It's not to, take themselves outside of the fight. It is to actually fight more, because the government is actually afraid of the people right now. This is the moment for the people to tell the government, we understand your tricks and we are not going to fall for it.
Okay. So at this point, for you, before we go back to His Majesty Mimi, so we know that one of the pillars of the democracy is the right to vote. So do you think at this point, like today in Cameroon, that people they have that right to vote, knowing that we can vote, and then tomorrow that you have a result here, and then tomorrow you have another result. So what do you think that people can feel now with the atmosphere, with the everything going on, and we have another election coming in about 2 or 4 months? So what do you think that people will feel now?
Is that question to me? Is that question directed to me?
Yes. Sorry, Doctor.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, Cameroonians, like every other human population in the world, they have a right to vote. They have a right to choose their leaders, especially as the Cameroonian constitution says that Cameroon is a democracy. We are not an autocracy. We are not a kingdom. We have the right to vote. We have the right to choose our leaders. Unfortunately, we exist in a system where a small group of thieves have hijacked the system. They have taken hold of the constitution and decided to make that constitution their own weapon or whatever. I don't know how to call it. But Cameroonians essentially have a right to vote. Now, to the question of the next elections, whether Cameroonians can trust, because I think that's where your question is, whether Cameroonians can trust the system. The system is broken. The system is broken, but Cameroonians can trust their power to fix that system. Cameroonians don't have to trust whoever is running the system at this point. The Cameroonians should trust their power to remove the people who are running that system and who are making that system impossible for it to work for them.
Yeah. Okay.
So the problem is not the system. The problem is not the system. We have a system that should work. The problem is we have people who have decided to hijack that system. If those people are not around, if those people are not organizing that system, the system is going to work for the Cameroonian. I think we have one of the best systems. We just need to make sure that people who run the system are people who genuinely love Cameroon, love the Cameroonian child, and want to see the best for us.
Yeah, I see you agreeing, Your Majesty. I just wanted you to weigh in on the arrest of Fabrice Lena, because we have to keep the conversation about this going. There are people that have, someone has died, a lady died in Garwa. We've had a lot of victims, but these are people who came also on this program and also really speaking against the injustices that they have been seeing. Fabrice Lena and the other opposition leaders that are now living in uncertainty. They are not in fear, but they are not sure what would happen. Rebecca Enonchong told us that some of them are ready. They know that they could potentially be arrested, so they are not surprised. But I just wanted to find out from you, Your Majesty, how do you feel seeing that those who are really calling for the voice of the people, the Cameroonian people, to be respected, are systematically being arrested?
You know, maybe there's I think I read somewhere where it says there's so many angles from which you can fall, but there's only one angle through which you can stand straight. The government right now is out of options. There's only one move they have. One. Every other action they take is a wrong one, and it just keeps digging the hole deeper and deeper for them. The arrest of strong pillars in our society right now makes it difficult for them to even come to a point where they can do a peaceful transition. As Mr. Eric said, the only play they have now in the cards, respect the voice of the people and make sure you hand power to who has won the election. That arrest is going to make the protest on Sunday, how do I put it? If the probability of it being violent was low, the arrest they are making increases the probability of the protest on Sunday being violent. It even makes it worse when you look at how things may turn out on Monday if they deny the people's voice. So every action the government does now, other than handing power, or let me say, speaking the truth and handing power, it's the ultimate, as how I put it, it's just them making things worse for themselves. And this is very easy. Peaceful transition. They live their lives. I'm talking about people in their 80s. My goodness, wait, what really is it we are trying to pursue here? Have a happy retirement. You've served your country the best way you thought you could serve. The people have spoken. Everyone knows it. There is no way they can hide. No way they can hide. So when you mentioned, I wasn't even aware of traditional rulers doing traditional right. That's an insult to our culture. And as a traditional ruler, I'm appalled by that. That is not what our traditions are meant for. This is not something about our performing traditional rites. And that arrest, I will say that arrest is the wrong move. And it will lead to more violence.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think, Sandrine, that we should ask like final questions and then conclude. Maybe we'll start with His Majesty, because he's speaking now, just to find out from you, Your Majesty.
Yeah, maybe we can add to Majesty Mimi before you can complete my question. So if you have the people of your village now, what do you suggest to them? It's to go and do the protestation on Sunday and then keep trust the system. What do you think? What
the system is already working against us. When you have arrests like this going on, the system is not working. I'm sorry. So I don't even recognize the system anymore. And
are you encouraging people in your village to go and work on Sunday?
To go to work, like to
no
go,
to go like
for the protest.
protestation. Yeah, for the protest. Yeah.
Okay, but I don't like I know it's called a protest, but what they're calling for, what they're asking for people to do on Sunday is for them
just
to
a
go.
peaceful manifestation. Just
Yes,
people can
to
just
go
go
to
out
manifest, and that manifestation is a demand for this government to recognize their voices. So I call for the people on Sunday, go and demand for the government to respect your votes. Because they might use our language against us, we are sending people out there to cause mayhem. No, we are calling for the system to respect the people's voices. That's what I'm calling for the people to do on Sunday. Thank you.
Yeah, because my question was a bit like that of Sandrine, but not just your people, but Cameroonians as a
Yes,
whole.
Cameroon as a
Message to
whole.
Cameroonians and to the soldiers and the government authorities. What will you tell them?
To the community, that is not to the civilians. On Sunday, we should request the government to respect our voices. Let our voices matter. That's what I'll tell to the civilians. Now, to the military, you were called to protect and serve. I repeat, you were called to protect and serve. And now, you're not protecting and serving a group of people, rather the nation. The people are not your enemy. The people are not a threat. As military people, you have been trained to identify threats. It is clear the people are not a threat to you or to anyone. They demand for something simple, which is their right, which you, the military, should actually protect their rights. So it is appalling to me when I see the military going out to arrest people for manifesting their rights, which they are called to protect and serve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, His Majesty. C'était vraiment un plaisir de vous avoir. Et comme Tunje l'a dit, ça fait vraiment du bien d'écouter notre son de cloche que de la perception que l'on a eue au Cameroun ces dernières semaines des chefs traditionnels et ceux qui travaillent avec leur communauté. Donc, avoir un chef traditionnel, il nous l'a dit pendant ce programme, il s'est dit complètement prêt à toujours supporter ce qui est vrai et ce qui est dans la justice, et c'est également ce qui va dans le sens de la paix, en soulignant bien évidemment qu'il n'y a pas de paix lorsqu'il y a des arrestations, lorsqu'il y a des intimidations, lorsqu'il y a de la violence. Merci à vous, Majesté.
Thank you so much, Your Majesty. Your point has been very clear, and we can clearly also see that you stand for the people. Thank you, and we'll be so happy to have you again another time. Thank you. Yes, we also have another person who has joined, Mr. Ugo Jumboy. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome. Do you have any message for us tonight? A lot is going on in Cameroon. Issa Tchiroma Bakary has announced that there should be nationwide protests on Sunday, but we are already seeing other people arrested. I mean, key voices in Cameroon politics like Fabrice Lena and also Amisede Kane and Jogam Chamini have just been arrested this evening, and they have been taken to Yaoundé. We just wanted to find out what your reaction is.
Thank you, Mimi. I hope that as I'm seeing myself double time, I hope that I'm not disturbing with double sounds. Je vais m'exprimer en français. Merci. Non, nous sommes dans une escalade incroyable. C'est-à-dire que le régime qui a largement été défait aux élections décide de militariser le pays, de procéder à des arrestations, y compris des arrestations au faciès, parce que ce qu'il y a eu aujourd'hui à Yaoundé, ce sont des arrestations au faciès, décide d'arrêter tout leader d'opinion. Je pense que véritablement, mon point de vue, est que c'est vrai, il y a eu des appels à la manifestation pour dimanche, mais mon sentiment est que je ne vois pas comment nous pouvons rester tranquilles et attendre dimanche. Si on a procédé à des arrestations massives et aussi des arrestations ciblées de leaders d'opinion aujourd'hui, je ne vois pas comment nous pouvons passer la journée de samedi à attendre dimanche. Donc,
Mais
mon
Hugo,
point de vue...
Hugo,
Oui, oui.
juste pour vous aider, puis vous allez continuer sur la même lancée. Est-ce que vous n'avez pas l'impression que le système ou le régime essaye simplement de baliser le chemin? C'est-à-dire quoi? Les résultats de la proclamation des résultats étaient attendus pour hier jeudi et cela a été reprogrammé pour lundi prochain. Et entre-temps, il y a des communiqués qui se succèdent et on parle maintenant des arrestations. Est-ce que vous ne pensez pas que le régime essaie simplement soit de baliser le chemin ou alors d'intimider les populations avant de procéder à cette proclamation des résultats?
Oui, vous avez tout à fait raison. C'est-à-dire que pourquoi ils n'ont pas proclamé les résultats comme initialement envisagé pour le jeudi? Ils ont estimé qu'ils n'étaient pas prêts, qu'ils allaient être dépassés, qu'ils allaient être débordés, et ils ont volontairement repoussé au lundi avec un objectif clair qui est de procéder à ce qu'on voit en ce moment, c'est-à-dire essayer de procéder à un maximum d'arrestations. Je parlais hier d'arrestations préventives. Donc, ils essaient de procéder à un maximum d'arrestations, de casser l'élan populaire. Et je pense que véritablement, à ce stade-ci, alors je crains que ce soit mon double enregistrement qui crée du désordre. Yeah. Ils essayent de procéder à ces arrestations, de militariser le pays, n'est-ce pas, pour pouvoir proclamer les résultats dans une sorte de cimetière. C'est ça l'objectif du report qu'ils ont fait au 27. Et c'est pour cela que je pense que même si il y a eu un mot d'ordre pour les manifestations le dimanche, rien n'empêche dès demain de se mobiliser partout dans le pays pour faire comprendre que nous ne pouvons pas, d'une part, accepter ces arrestations et d'autre part, que nous exigeons le respect de la volonté populaire. Je pense que là, on arrive à la foi de Croc. Je pense qu'il y a eu plusieurs fois où ce régime a essayé de museler la population pour imposer des résultats fabriqués. Cette fois-ci, c'est la foi de Croc parce que ce régime a été largement battu. Je me rappelle en 1992, lorsqu'on parle de ces élections, oui, la victoire de Ni John Fundi était peut-être de l'ordre de 3 points d'écart. Donc, il me semble que c'était un peu plus facile. Mais là, on parle de plus de 20 points d'écart et ce régime est en même de militariser le pays, procéder à des arrestations massives pour faire passer un résultat que tous les Camerounais rejettent. Donc, quelque part, si le régime réussit ce coup-ci à faire passer son résultat alors qu'il a été battu par plus de 20 points d'écart, alors on en a pour 50 ans. Parce que ceux qui sont en train de perpétuer ce coup...
Continue in the same line, but I just want to know from you, with the arrest of these leaders, whom the people were looking up to, who have been a source of encouragement and who have taken bold steps, to have denounced, the fraud and congratulated Issa Tchiroma with them behind bars now. Don't you think that it's like some sort of weakness to the mobilization nationwide?
Oui, mais c'est d'abord pour casser cette mobilisation. Ce qui est fait là a pour objectif d'abord de casser la mobilisation, ces arrestations. C'est ça qui est recherché. Et c'est pour ça que je pense que c'est dès demain matin qu'il faut réagir. Peut-être pas cette nuit, parce que ça risque d'être une nuit de long cours. Mais dès demain matin, je pense qu'il faut réagir. Je pense que nous ne pouvons pas attendre dimanche pour commencer à réagir. Réagir demain n'empêche pas de réagir dimanche. Mais que des gens comme Jokam Chameni ou Anissé Kane soient entre les mains de ce régime où Fabrice Léna soit entre les mains de ce régime et qu'on passe 24 heures à attendre, ça ne me semble pas possible. Ça ne me semble pas possible parce que demain, samedi, des arrestations vont se poursuivre. Donc, si nous ne mettons pas le holà dès demain, dimanche, on sera peut-être même en incapacité de sortir de la maison, tellement ils vont mettre les chars partout. Donc, je pense qu'il faut réagir promptement pour montrer qu'on ne peut pas accepter ces arrestations-là et que surtout, on ne baissera pas les bras tant qu'on n'aura pas la vérité des urnes.
Yes, Eric, I see you reacting there. According to Ogo, the Cameroonians should react promptly to this arrest because more arrests are coming, and that Sunday is a bit late to react, and that they should start mobilizing tomorrow. That's just like a brief translation of Mr. Ogo's opinion. Would you want to react to that? What do you think about what Mr. Ogo is saying?
Voilà, I mean, merci Hugo, hein, petit frère. Vraiment, je suis très content de t'entendre. I'm totally 100% with him on that. Look, tomorrow I call on everybody in Douala who's for change to go to where Njekam and Anise are being held. People should go there in force and say enough is enough. Is there a Cameroonian out there who wants to see this situation continue? Is there a Cameroonian out there who believes that it is soldiers who will determine the outcome of ballot boxes? Soldiers? If these people were fair and transparent and credible, they will not need a single soldier or police officer or gendarme to go and justify the results. So there's something very wrong at that level. So please, I appeal to everybody in Douala of good conscience to just go and say, no, go to the police station, hundreds of you. The rest of the country should keep their Sunday program. It is time we do that. So I agree with Hugo totally, and I hope that we will see. And I'm appealing to the military people. Who are you protecting? Who are you protecting? Are you protecting a handful of guys who've captured the state and its resources? Are you trying to protect a constitution that protects all of us? Every soldier listening to us tonight, every gendarme, every police officer, answer that question. Who are you protecting? That's my question.
Yeah.
Yes, Rebecca, would you want to come in there? Mr. Ogo is having a different opinion because he believes that it's a strategy actually to intimidate people and stop them from going out on Sunday. And he also says that the arrest will continue if Cameroonians just sit back. He adds that Sunday is a bit late and that people should start mobilizing as soon as tomorrow morning. What is your reaction?
I agree. I mean, again, as I said, for me, these are acts of desperation. And I don't think, and they're only going to radicalize the population. They're not going, you can't talk about peace and then start arresting people. What did Jokam and Anisse say? Remember, they did a mot d'ordre. Remember, they said, we will celebrate at home. So are you going to arrest them for asking people to stay home to celebrate on Thursday? That's what their message said. It said, stay home. So what are you going to arrest them for? What? So I did speak with a family member. And so we know that they took 6 laptops, including the laptops belonging to the students and the staff. They took all the electronic equipment. So all of his internet connect. So, in Cameroon, you can't have one connection. So you have to have multiple internet connections. They took all of that. The security cameras, they removed them. and they ransacked the place. I think we may have a video of the aftermath of the arrest, but they ransacked, just completely tore apart their home. And but as I said, at JUCAM, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, they're used to this. They're used to being arrested. I'm a little bit more concerned about Anissé because he has had some health problems. But I do not think that they realize that it's just as they did, as I said earlier, it's just as they did at the beginning of the Anglophone crisis, when people were actually involved in peaceful demonstrations. Our brothers, Agorbala and the others, were involved in
these two and Fontaine were arrested. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the whole bunch of them. I mean, I can't list all of them, but they were all arrested at the very beginning of the and they were charged with terrorism. And we saw what the result was. And then they shut down the internet. So it's almost like the playbook from taking what was a crisis and turning it into a war. That same playbook they're applying here, thinking that by arresting JUCAM and by arresting Anissé, and Fabrice, who's a young guy, like that all of a sudden it's going to make everything go away. It's going to make the Tchiroma's victory go away. And then, so what are I mean, I don't even understand who comes up with this.
It's a way of creating fear already among.
It's not. But the thing is if you look at history, when you abuse of repressive measures, it actually radicalizes people. So people that weren't radical become radical, because what are you going to accuse JUCAM of? What are we scared of? So they come and arrest us because we have an opinion that's different from theirs? What did they do that was so, except for telling the truth? Is the truth so scary to you? Is the truth of Tchiroma winning this election so scary to you that you want to arrest anyone who says it? I mean, that for me, it's like ce sont des lâches. Ce sont des lâches. They have absolutely, this is complete. I mean, they're really showing the weakness of their hand. It's showing how desperate they are. How desperate are you going? These guys they signed with their own names. Stay home. How is that disrupting you? Did that hurt you? Did that bother you? I mean, how are you going to justify their arrests? Maybe now they want to justify arresting Tchiroma, and as I said earlier, he made a very smart move, right? In that he went out and said, these guys want to launch an assault on me. And the government mouthpieces immediately went out and said, fake news. Right? Because anything anybody says is fake news. So now it's fake news. Now, if they try to arrest Tchiroma, after having said it was fake news, what are they going to do? If they cut off the internet after saying it was fake news, I mean,
they can still say the fake news is fake news. That what they saw that was fake news is fake news.
They're caught in a web of their own lies. And see that they used beer. They used beer. They didn't use regular military. They didn't use police. They didn't use gendarmes. They used beer.
Why? Why, according to you, Rebecca? Why do they?
Because they don't feel that their regular security forces are loyal enough. You have to think of beer almost like an outside mercenary group. Maybe like, they don't answer to the normal military hierarchy. They only answer to somebody in the presidency, not even the president. And so they are on their own, right? And I think that they think that they have more loyalty there. But I even think that there's some weaknesses. But look, this is, for me, it's like, oh my God, they are so desperate. They are so desperate. They are so weak. They are so weak. They have no, I mean, we have shown our power as people. And what they fail to understand is the same thing they failed to understand during the Anglophone crisis. It's not a movement of leaders. It's a movement of the people that have chosen some leaders. So you can take all of the leaders and put them in prison. It won't change the movement. And instead, you're going to radicalize people. You're going to radicalize people. So you're going to take a Jukam and you're going to multiply him by thousands. You're going to take an Issa Tchiroma and you're going to multiply him by thousands. And you won't be able to control what comes after. So if I were them, I would say, oh, we just wanted to question them, ask them a few things. We heard some bad information, release them before it becomes, this is an international scandal. This is an international scandal. You've already lost. You've already shown that you're weak. These arrests only go to show how weak you are, how wrong you are, how you have absolutely zero evidence to use to justify saying that you won the election. You have nothing. Show us how you get to those numbers. We can show you, and we've shown the world how we get to our numbers. Down to the polling station. Tell us how you got to yours. And let's have the debate on that. Instead, you want to use repression. You want to use arrests. You want to use intimidation. You want to use fear as a weapon against your own people. So people that supposedly voted for you overwhelmingly. So really, I think I agree with Hugo. We need to understand. I need to get a call with Kawala, Maître Nkom, and some other lawyers to try to look at the legal parts, make sure that they all have a legal team, a full legal team. And I think this is one of the things that
absolutely very important.
We talked about on this show, right? I said the diaspora, what the diaspora can do is support a legal fund, because we will need a legal fund. We knew that this was coming. We knew that they would start doing stuff like this. This is that they don't have two playbooks. They have one. And so we knew. So what we need is more resources for the lawyers that are on the ground. Most of the lawyers that will respond are going to do it on a volunteer basis. However, they'll need communication. They'll need transportation. We don't know where they're being taken. I'm hearing that they were taken to Yaoundé. So again, military tribunal, Yaoundé. So we don't know. They're not in a police station in Douala. They were taken immediately to Yaoundé, and I was told it's just Anissé and
Absolutely. So je voulais juste qu'on corrige pour tout le monde que les arrestations de ce soir, c'est juste Njokap Tchameni et Anissé Kane.
Et Fabrice Lena.
Et Fabrice Lena, absolument, pour ces trois.
Is being held in Douala à la PJ. I think at the PJ in Douala, from what I understand, in Bonanjo. So I think those of us that are in Douala can definitely go and try to support Fabrice at the police station in Douala. But because we don't know where the others are, it's very hard to get them legal assistance at this point. But we have to know that these are they've served this nation so hard and so much for so many years. They've been to prison. I mean, my first involvement in Cameroon politics was Jukam Chameni's release when he was arrested in the late 80s, or late 80s, or 1990, I think, or so, I can't remember. Yeah, because I remember when Celestin Monga and Pius Jawe went to prison, they went and met Jukam, who was already there. So I think that it was in the late 80s that I was, involved in trying to fight for his
that means it's used to. De toutes les façons, merci Rebecca. Je pense que tu as beaucoup de choses à gérer ce soir pour voir comment est-ce qu'il faut assister ces camarades qui ont été interpellés. Et comme tu l'as dit, on a juste des précisions en ce qui concerne Fabrice Lena, qui est à la police judiciaire du côté de Douala, Bonanjo. Et Jokam Chameni et Anissé Kane ont jusqu'ici été déportés vers une destination qui reste encore inconnue.
Voilà, c'est exactement cela.
Et Rebecca a aussi appelé tous ceux qui sont dans la diaspora à trouver des moyens pour pouvoir apporter leur assistance et leur soutien à ces personnes qui, depuis plusieurs jours, depuis le début de la campagne, se battent à pouvoir se dire qu'il faut le changement et qui démontrent de façon pratique.
C'est pour tous ceux qui sont arrêtés injustement dans le cadre de ces élections. Il y a des personnes qu'on ramasse à gauche, à droite, qui sont arrêtées tout simplement pour des raisons politiques. Et donc, nous voulons les soutenir. Il faut les soutenir de manière organisée. Et comme la diaspora veut participer, moi, j'ai beaucoup entendu des membres de la diaspora qui voulaient faire quelque chose. La chose que vous pouvez vraiment faire, c'est soutenir un fonds de soutien pour ceux qui sont injustement arrêtés.
Yes, so yes, Rebecca, I wanted to just ask, how can they channel the support? I know that
I will get back to you with a link for that. We're trying to get some people in the diaspora. Maybe I can get Eric and his team and Project C to host that fund. That legal fund and distribute it, but I think it's something that I don't want to discuss here.
Okay.
But I don't want people to be scared. I don't want them to be scared. Don't fall into the trap of fear. Right? Fear is just an emotion. You don't need to be fearful. They can't arrest all of us. Even if they arrest me, they might. Please don't be afraid. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm so ready. I don't mind. It's just part of life. I've been arrested before, and I'm thriving. So it didn't stop me from continuing to do what I needed to do. It didn't shut me down. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You know, sometimes when you have to give more, and some are called to give more. And I know that Jukam and Anisse, they're very ready. They're very psychologically ready. Their families are very psychologically ready for this. I'm psychologically ready. Eric is sitting there. He's coming to Cameroon in a few days. He's psychologically ready. So please do not be afraid. But you need to amplify our voice and make sure that our voice, if we're not able to speak, that you're speaking and you're speaking loud and clear. And it's like, as Hugo said, you go out tomorrow and make sure that the authorities know that you know that they've arrested the wrong people. Thank you very much. I'm going to get to work now to try to get our more information and see how we can support our people. But thank you so much for participating. And please, please do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you. Yeah, thank you also for your commitment. She's already gone, but we can't thank her enough. Rebecca really has Cameroon at heart, and she's one of those fiercest people speaking and standing up for what is right. And we cannot just, all we can just do is also listen to her, just mobilize and also give her the support and, encouragement that she needs. Eric also is one of them. I don't know where the conversation was, Sandrine. Were we concluding?
I think you were yes, absolutely. You were about to conclude because we just had Hugo online. And then I think we just need to ask some last question to go into Doctor and maybe to Eric before we conclude.
I just want to also thank those who are supporting the MMI team, and to also say that, yes, we really, really appreciate the supports coming in. I think there are two people, we just highlighted one of them. Also, there are other, there's also Nadesh, who supported us. Sandrine Yamga also has a YouTube page. Maybe she'll talk about it so that we can also follow her. very, very massively. For Hansen also has a YouTube page. And then also Bernard Ngalim, who is not today with us. He's always here. He also has a YouTube page. Please keep supporting those who are really working hard tirelessly to keep us informed, to, organize these discussions. We are having support from different people, including Project C, supporting our reporters who are on the ground. But we also need that support from you Cameroonians. And if you can, please go to our different YouTube pages and give us the support. And our big sister Loveline is here. I'm not sure that she has a YouTube account yet, but she will definitely have one.
I do, but not yet developed. I have a YouTube page, but not yet developed. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So please, we need all the support. We all need the support. And I just want to thank, like, for those who are sending the support, we really appreciate. We can see all the support you're sending. And God bless you. Yes, Sandrine, you can carry on.
Absolument. OK, merci donc à tous ceux qui apportent leur soutien ici et là. Je pense qu'on va afficher peut-être avant la fin toutes les autres pages dont Mimi a évoqué, dont Mimi a parlé, que ce soit celle de Bernard Galim, ma chaîne YouTube aussi, celle de For Hanson, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de choses qui arrivent et on a vraiment besoin de rester connectés ensemble et toujours pouvoir discuter les uns avec les autres. Donc, merci beaucoup à vous d'être là. Et on espère que vous vous allez continuer, bien évidemment, à nous soutenir et être avec nous. Alors, on va poursuivre et terminer cette conversation. On va avoir des dernières questions pour Dr. Bless and Hugo Djombwe et puis à Eric Chinger avant qu'on ne ferme la porte ce soir. Il y a encore une longue journée qui arrive demain et on espère vous revenir avec beaucoup de force. Alors, Hugo, peut-être dernière intervention pour vous. Vous avez soutenu que attendre la manifestation de dimanche s'avère un tout petit peu loin pour vous, mais je voudrais qu'avec vous, qu'on se plonge un peu vers l'après-proclamation des résultats, parce qu'on l'a dit, il y a le système balise le chemin, procède à des arrestations. Entre jeudi et puis lundi, on essaie de trouver ou de la calmie ou de l'intimidation avant de procéder à la proclamation. Selon vous, après cette proclamation, comment devraient se comporter les populations vis-à-vis du système en face?
Merci beaucoup, Sandrine. Remerciements aussi à Miss Sandrine pour tout ce travail. Bien sûr, nous sommes également contents, heureux de voir des aînés comme Eric qui nous apportent leur connaissance dans ce qui se passe. Et tous les autres, Rebecca, tous les autres, on est très contents de ça. Pour revenir à la question, je vais vous dire que ayant eu l'occasion de connaître un peu Anissé ou Ndjokam, si on leur demandait là maintenant ce qu'il y avait à faire, je suis certain, et d'autres peuvent le confirmer ici, ils nous diront, ne vous préoccupez pas de nous, continuez la lutte. Je les vois bien. Si vous avez l'occasion d'interroger Ndjokam ou Anissé, ils vont vous dire, nous, on nous a peut-être arrêtés, ne vous préoccupez pas de nous, allez-y. Ça veut dire que, bien sûr, même si on se mobilise demain à Douala par rapport à Anissé, par rapport à Ndjokam, par rapport à Fabrice, il ne faut pas perdre de vue l'objectif qui est de faire reconnaître le résultat populaire du vote du 12 octobre et de passer donc, on espère encore, mais est-ce encore possible, une transmission pacifique du pouvoir. Et donc, même lorsque, pour revenir à la question de Sandrine, même si on a lundi une proclamation des résultats concrets à la volonté populaire, on ne doit pas perdre de vue notre objectif principal qui est de faire respecter la volonté populaire telle qu'elle a été exprimée le 12 octobre. C'est pour ça que je fais le lien avec la situation de Ndjokam ou de Anissé, parce que je sais qu'ils vont nous dire, mais ne vous laissez pas tromper de l'objectif. L'objectif, depuis le départ, est de faire respecter la volonté populaire et il faut le maintenir. Qu'est-ce qui va se passer après le 27, après le lundi? Mais il faut poursuivre, il faut continuer à poursuivre cet objectif. Nos frères qui sont dans la lancée de la confiscation du pouvoir ne se rendent pas compte d'une chose. Le monde entier sait qu'ils ont perdu. Les diplomates, les homologues des autres pays qu'ils auront en face d'eux demain ou après-demain savent qu'ils ont perdu. Ils n'ont aucun crédit aux yeux de leurs homologues. Où vont-ils se tenir pour parler au nom du Cameroun face à des gens qui vont rire sous cap, sachant qu'ils sont en train de parler à des gens qui ont été largement défaits aux élections? Donc, ils n'auront aucun crédit vis-à-vis des interlocuteurs du Cameroun. Ces interlocuteurs pourront afficher des sourires diplomatiques, mais ce sont des interlocuteurs qui savent qu'ils ont en face d'eux des gens qui ont été largement défaits aux élections et qui vont les traiter en tenant compte de cela. Donc, le service qu'ils peuvent rendre au pays, à l'heure où nous sommes, c'est d'assumer la défaite et d'organiser la transmission pacifique du pouvoir. Ils parlent de paix, mais ceux qui peuvent aujourd'hui le mieux préserver la paix, ben c'est eux. Ils peuvent rendre un service formidable au pays qui va préserver la paix et préserver même l'unité du pays. En reconnaissant simplement le verdict sorti des urnes, ils n'ont pas alors c'est peut-être pas facile, mais ils n'ont pas un grand effort à faire. Il suffit de reconnaître le verdict sorti des urnes, de l'assumer et d'organiser la transmission pacifique du pouvoir, et ils auront rendu un énorme service au pays et à eux-mêmes. Voilà, Sandrine, c'est ce que je peux dire par rapport à la suite, c'est de ne pas perdre de vue l'objectif. L'objectif, c'est de faire respecter la volonté populaire exprimée le 12 octobre. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Hugo Djomboué, pour toutes cette déclaration. Merci à vous d'avoir été là et on espère vous retrouver dans peut-être quelques jours pour continuer à discuter de l'actualité au Cameroun. Elle peut être politique, elle peut être sociale. Merci beaucoup à vous pour votre contribution. So, Loveline, I don't know if you have a last question for Dr. There before we finish with Eric.
No, I don't have a question. What I instead want to say first is I want to talk about Pastor Mofor. Because what he said, it's not easy for somebody like that, and who is in Libya to have so spoken the way he also outspoken. So I just want to say that I want to thank him particularly because sincerely I was like overwhelmed to hear him talk so. And I also pray that nothing happens to him along the line, even from his party where he said he has already resigned because he said a lot of things. Pastor Mofo Domino, I hope that from time to time we've got to check on him, and that, like Mimi said, people want to support him. For a man of his age to hear him say they trekked to Chang and back, it's so heart-rending. So I hope Mimi will really get in touch with the pastor to make sure that he's in good health.
A lot of people actually reached out already inbox and
okay.
Yes, so we are going to put up a post on Facebook. Please, technicians, take this off because I'll prefer that we use his own number, not the MMI number. MMI number is too crowded with messages, but we are going to put up a post on our Facebook page. Please, for those who are not following us, go to our Facebook maybe tonight or tomorrow. You'll see a post and we will tell you how to contribute and send your contributions to him. We've received all your messages. We are not ignoring them. We are just trying to see how to make it easier for all of us. So it will certainly be an MTN mobile money number where you can send your support to him directly. But we need to make sure that it's a number that he prefers. a number that would be safer for him, because it's very important. So thank you so much, Ma'am Laughlin, for bringing that up again. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if Doctor has maybe a last message to us for all Cameroonians that are following you since we started, before we leave.
Of course. Thank you very much. I just want to say that to my parents who are in government, especially to my grandfather, Mr. Biya, I want to appeal to Cameroonians that peace is always possible. We cannot always achieve our greatness through the barrel of the gun. We can achieve our greatness through peace. But peace does not come through fear. Peace only comes through justice, through fairness, through truth. This is my appeal as a son of Cameroon to my parents who are in government, that they should think about the future of the children of Cameroon and think about the kind of country they want to leave to their children. Is it a country that the children will grow up to be free? Is it a country that the children will grow up to be proud of? Is it a country that the children will grow up to want to invest in? Let our parents think about the kind of country they want to leave for us and for our own children. And to my fellow brothers and sisters in Cameroon, I know that the tactics of the government at this moment look like they want to intimidate. But it's kind of like the last kick of a dying horse at this point, because the government doing what they are doing, all the arrests, they are basically affirming that someone else won. They are basically affirming that the people won. But if we are a people with conscience, if our government is a government that is conscientious, then our government will let the people have their voice. It will let people make their choice, and it will let the youth of Cameroon define what the future of the country will look like. I sincerely hope, I come from a village that has suffered a lot through the Anglophone crisis. I do not want to see our country, I do not want to see our country fall into the kind of thing that it fell into for the past 9 years. I do not want to see our country fall into that. And I so plead the authorities, with the soldiers, with the gendarmerie, with the police, with the people of Cameroon. Peace is always possible. We just need to believe in it. We just need to take it. We just need to be courageous enough to embrace peace and to tell the truth, so that we don't spill the blood of Cameroonian children. Please, this is my appeal as a son of Cameroon. Thank you very much for bringing us together to talk about these things. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Bless Ngoe. Merci à vous, Dr. Bless Ngoe. It was a blessing to have you, as your name said. Thank you. So we are happy to have you here tonight, and we hope to have you soon. So the last one will be with Eric. I will try that in French. Eric, on est à la croisée des chemins. La situation devient peut-être plus difficile que certains ne croyaient ou certains imaginaient. Au début de cette campagne, la peur commence à monter chez les populations. On a déjà des morts qui ont été enregistrés, il faut être clair là-dessus, du côté de Garoua. Mais il y a aussi qu'il y a eu beaucoup de manifestations dans la partie septentrionale du Cameroun. Et on a encore eu des arrestations des principales personnes qui défendent et qui parlent de coalition depuis le début de cette campagne électorale. Pour vous, à votre niveau aujourd'hui, qu'est-ce que vous vous dites? Est-ce qu'on doit laisser la peur nous prendre de coups ou alors se dire c'est plié? Les carottes sont cuites. J'ai lu M. Jean de Dieu Momo dit il y a quelques heures, 7 ans, c'est vite passé, donc juste laisser tomber et attendre que les 7 autres années passent. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
Yeah, and just to add, Eric, just to add, what should Cameroonians, just to
Okay,
add,
before you answer, maybe just add this one to either Sandrine. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what
Okay,
should
let me move on.
Cameroonians
Just to
also
add to it that Manidem has also come out with a communique where they are really ready. And just to conclude what they said in their last sentence of their communiqué is that le Manidem rappelle que rien ni personne, même la mort, ne peut venir à bout de la revendication légitime de la fin du système néocolonial au pouvoir. So Manidem is ready, right, to the end. So Eric, with all this, how are you seeing, let me just say the next 1 week in Cameroon?
Well, thank you, Lovelina. I love to be surrounded by all these outstanding women. Look, we're at a turning point in the history of our country. It is in our hands to put Cameroon back on track and get this country back on the road where it can become this shining star on the hilltop in Africa. Cameroon has everything to succeed. I want our young people to know that. We have everything to succeed, to make life in Cameroon as good as it used to be. All three of you that I see have no idea how beautiful this country could be. I have known it in my lifetime. I've known Cameroon, the best of Cameroon. When we had great schools, when we left college and university, and we went abroad, and everywhere we had outstanding Cameroonian here, there, everywhere. This country could be a much better place. But for the last 30, maybe 40 years, the country has been totally mismanaged. This is the truth. Cameroon has been totally mismanaged. So we don't even know, what children have forgotten what our capabilities are in that country. People don't know that Cameroon could be one of the most industrialized countries in Africa. People don't know that you leave college and back then you had a job instantly. So, look, the point is we should know Cameroonian who loves this country. No Cameroonian who loves our country should take no for an answer. We should reject outrightly everything that Ngongo stands for, that Chantal Biya stands for, that Ayolo, and so on. That's it. We should reject what they stand for. We're not asking for anything for ourselves. We're asking for the good of a country that all of us, you, Mimi, you, Sandrine, you, Lovely, we're asking for something that will be good for us, for our children, for our brothers, our sisters. That's what we're asking for. Cannot be too much to ask. We're asking for the end of a system where people only look at what benefits them. Doesn't matter what happens to the rest of us.
Thank you.
Monsieur, the director adjoint du cabinet, where did you get the money to build all the houses you built? Monsieur Ayolo, d'où est venu l'argent? pour acheter tout ce que tu as pu acheter. Je te tutoie parce que tu es un ami à moi. Tu étais un ami. Hein? Toi, Ngongo, qui portait le sac, porteur de sac de monsieur le feu Bellinga. L'argent est sorti d'où? Pour avoir les propriétés que tu as au Cameroun. Et puis quoi? Et puis quoi? Ayolo, you have about 70 cars. 70. Packed in your house, in your different palaces. Pourquoi faire? Pourquoi faire? Ils sont même vous, ces gens-là. Vous êtes même qui? C'est pas Camerounais, ça. C'est pas le Cameroun d'Amado Aïdjo. C'est pas le Cameroun pour lequel Sokoudjou, le roi Sokoudjou, le pauvre Sokoudjou, a souffert. Vous êtes même qui? Vous êtes même qui, Dieu? So, look, thank you for the opportunity to share my feelings with Cameroonians. I hope some people are hearing us.
Absolutely.
And I hope
So
they'll turn around and tell them enough is enough. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Merci beaucoup, Eric Chinje. C'était assez émouvant de vous entendre avec cette tonalité, avec cette émotion, avec cette passion aussi. Mais on se comprend, c'est que c'est un moment assez critique et comme on l'a dit, on est à la croisée des chemins. On a vraiment du mal à savoir de quoi demain est fait et tout ce qu'on dit tout le temps, c'est qu'on veut simplement du meilleur pour le Cameroun et que les choses se passent normalement comme cela devrait être dans toutes les démocraties. J'ai juste envie de terminer sur une chose qui peut paraître amusante. On a commencé le processus électoral au Cameroun il y a beaucoup de semaines maintenant. L'élection présidentielle a eu lieu le 12 octobre au Cameroun. Au Canada, on assiste aux élections municipales. Et je peux vous dire que dans la ville ou dans la province où je me trouve, l'élection municipale était le 20 octobre. On a tous les résultats. Tout le monde sait qu'est-ce qu'il fait. Et moi, j'attends encore de savoir les résultats de la présidentielle au Cameroun qui ont eu lieu 8 jours plus tôt. C'est pour dire qu'on est dans deux mondes complètement différents. J'ai entendu parler des personnes qui étaient à la Commission nationale de recensement des votes qui expliquaient comment on a besoin d'avoir des petites calculatrices, des stylos, des crayons. Alors où tout le monde a des grands smartphones, on est capable d'utiliser tous les outils technologiques que l'on a pour avoir tous les résultats à temps. Il faut vraiment se poser de bonnes questions. J'allais juste terminer là. Je pense que c'est la partie assez émouvante d'Eric qui m'a amené à penser à ce commentaire. Merci beaucoup, Eric.
Yes, but Eric, I just wanted to say that a lot of people were listening because when I was saying it, I was actually muted. 1,000, we have like 10 or nearly 10,000 people watching this program on different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Yes, and your message is actually hitting home because we can see a lot of reactions as well. So thank you so much for those words. Coming from you, it's always a pleasure, Eric, having you on board. It's always a pleasure. And thank you also, people. We hope that we can have you again, maybe tomorrow or another time, because we have not rested. The Road to the production team has not rested. I mean, it's more than 3 months. I was just telling someone that I've not slept like completely for about 3 months now. And I thought after 12th of October, I was going to take a holiday, but it seems like that's not going to happen until we get to A to D. So
exactly. I love that word, that until we get to A to D.
Yeah, the road is quite is bumpy, but we will finally get there. And when we get there, we'll have the right.
Hey, alors, c'est dit pour tout le monde. Merci à Loveline. Merci beaucoup, Hugo. Thank you so much, Eric Ginger. Thank you to you, Mimi Mufo. We might see tomorrow.
Yes, thank you also. Thank you, Loveline. Thank you, Eric. And yes, Sandrine, please, there's need for call to action.
Okay.
For all of those who are watching, talk with Mimi Mefo. Many of you just come and watch and go. You don't subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube so that we can have more followers. Also, please, we have our brother Bernard Tingalim. For those who know how articulate he is, how pertinent he is, how he handles the discussions on here. He also has a YouTube page, a YouTube channel. We shouldn't be begging you guys to subscribe. Go to Beyond Africa Podcast and subscribe. Let us see hundreds of people subscribing tonight on Talk with Mimi Mefo and Beyond Africa Podcast, please. This is Beyond Africa Podcast YouTube. Go there. Look, this is our Cameroonian brother. He has how many subscribers? Not up to 10,000 people, but we have thousands of people watching. Please go and subscribe. Subscribe. Talk with Mimi Mefo. We also need you guys to subscribe. This is Sandrine's YouTube. She just created it. So you will not see subscribers. But you can see how great she is. How pertinent she is. How she looks, she takes the topics. How she handles the guests. How articulate she is. So also follow her because she is going to be having a lot of surprises for you. Sandrine, why am I speaking on your behalf? This is Cameroon News Agency YouTube page. Please go there and also subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. These are Cameroonian journalists who are looking at news beyond the news. We don't just narrate or report the news. We bring the analysis, we bring the guests, we bring the experts to interpret some of the things that you're seeing every day on our different Facebook pages. We bring them here on YouTube for discussions, in-depth analysis. Please subscribe to these pages. I just want to thank all those who have already subscribed because I know many of you also have. And for those who are supporting, thank you all so much. Sandrine, that will be it from me. And Lovely, maybe you guys can conclude the discussion. Thank you.
So I don't know if Lovin has something else to say. Merci à tout le monde. On vous souhaite une excellente soirée. C'était une longue nuit. Ça, je peux vous dire que lorsqu'on entrait dans ce studio, on s'est dit qu'on est là pour 2 heures. Mais là, nous sommes arrivés jusqu'à 3 heures et bientôt 15 minutes. C'était un long moment, mais nous sommes très contents d'être là et très contents d'être avec vous. On va se retrouver certainement demain ou dans les prochains jours pour continuer à discuter de l'actualité autour de l'élection présidentielle au Cameroun. Merci beaucoup à vous de nous soutenir. Merci d'être avec nous et on se retrouve très bientôt. Au revoir.
Bye-bye.